stay here and get paid to learn a trade. With an army apprenticeship that'll set you right for life. Still listening? You belong here. Army, recruiting now. Search Army jobs.
Came on. There was such a cheer for him, and the strike. It's so clean. He's a Burnley legend. He is what he's done. But Keith Andrews, Brentford had a corner. Keep it in the corner, then it ends up going out for the goal kick, and they end up getting it up, and that big ball in. You talk about resilience, desire. How Brentford haven't dealt with it. It drops. There is a weight here. There's a bit more of a check. You tell me here, John, but they cannot rule this out. They can't, surely.
I'm trying to think what they would even be looking at. Players are gathered inside
off
the
on the benches
circle.
as well.
It's Hannibal seems to be involved, and Lyle Foster in amongst the Brentford coaching staff, definitely pushing and shoving at the minimum. I'm trying to look at the scenes over there, looking at the monitor. Possible handball is what we are looking at. We were allowed 7 minutes of injury time. The clock over to our left says 99 minutes and 30 seconds here. Scott Parker is talking to the fourth official. Most of the outfield players are gathered on the halfway line on the far side of the pitch. The referee is now being called over by the fourth official. The referee is Sam Barrett. The fourth official is Stephen Martin. The fourth official is pointing to one of the Brentford coaching staff. Maybe even one of the substitutes has been called to the side of the pitch to be shown a yellow card. While all that's going on, we still need to know if this goal has been given. We're looking again at the replay. Possible handball. We're into the 100th minute of this game. Ashley Barnes potentially has pulled Burnley level again in a topsy-turvy game in which they were 3 down, back to 3-3. Brentford thought they'd won it with Mikkel Damsgaard second of the game. Ashley Barnes, the veteran, 36 years of age, may have salvaged a point for relegation threatened Burnley at the end of this match, and still we watch on the referee about to brandish another yellow card. Stockley Park will be checking the handball. In fact, we're just seeing a replay of that. Matt's keeping an eye on that. I'll keep an eye on the referee, who's currently talking to the two captains. What have you seen, Matt?
I think it's going to be disallowed, yeah, because the ball comes down and it looks like the touch on the left arm of Ashley Barnes, and because he is the player that then scores. I didn't see it, and that's what VAR is for, but I do feel this is going to be disallowed because he's definitely hits his arm as it drops, and then that's controlled it, and then nothing wrong with the finish, hard and low. But I do feel that looking at those pictures, that's what it is. He will know, but I just think it is going to be. I think it's going to be disallowed.
I would agree. Looking at the replay, clearly off his hand, it leads to the goal which he scored. The referee is still speaking to the two captains, so even if he is getting word in his ear about the goal, he's not been able to action that just yet. Now he is walking away from Matthias Jensen and Maxime Estev. We will hear him over the PA announcer very, very shortly, but I don't think this will count. We will pause.
Extra time come from me if it gets over 7 minutes. Here we go.
Still the way it goes on here on TalkSport. We are at Turf Moor, Burnley 4, Brentford 4, possibly. We think that's going to very quickly change to Burnley 3, Brentford 4. We're in the 102nd minute of this Premier League game. We'll round up what's gone on elsewhere around the country very shortly. This will be the last Premier League game to finish today, but it's been an epic match in which Brentford have twice led, and we think they will keep the lead. The referee, Sam Barrett, once again is surrounded by players. He is asking them to move away so he can make the announcement to finally put these Burnley fans in clear.
After review, Burnley 35 accidentally handles the ball.
There you go. The goal will not count. It will remain Burnley 3, Brentford 4. It's the right decision, Matt. These fans don't like it, understandably.
But look, by the letter of the law, it had to be disallowed. It was accidental, but it has given him an advantage. That is the law. He's the last player to score. But that's the one thing that Wolves fans and Burnley fans will not have to deal with next season, because in the Championship there is no VAR. It takes the emotion out of it. It gives us drama. But the one bit that's got me there, John, how has it taken so long to come to that decision? Yeah. That is the bit. It's gone in, real drama. The Anthony one I can see a little bit more with the offside. That was so tight, but that for me, you see the pictures, it's clearly hit his arm. Yes, it's accidental, it's given the advantage, but so hard. Massive escape for Brentford, but what the drama here. This has been one of the best second halves of football I've seen live.
Play continues. The referee has checked his watch. He's put the whistle to his mouth. There's full time. What a thrilling game. Brentford led 3-0. Mako Damsgaard with a header after 9 minutes. Ego Thiago with a great finish after 25 minutes. Kevin Schade slammed home with 10 minutes of the first half remaining to make it 3-0 to the visitors. Players have gathered again around the centre circle. Again there is pushing and shoving. It's something we'll try and keep an eye on. In injury time at the end of the first half, a Jadon Anthony cross was deflected into his own goal by Michael Coyote, and that seemed to be the spark for a second half comeback. Brentford emerged and just didn't find the rhythm of the first half. Within 2 minutes of the second period, Jadon Anthony had slammed home to reduce the deficit. On the hour mark, Zian Fleming had headed Burnley level. In injury time, Miko Damsgaard got his second of the game with a right-footed cushioned finish. Burnley thought they'd won it with that injury time goal from Ashley Barnes, rightly ruled out for handball. It finishes Burnley 3, Brentford 4.
Well, more reflections to come from Matt Murray. Extraordinary drama, extraordinary game at Turf Moor, and in the end, 2 controversially disallowed goals. I can tell you that Jason Cundy's coming up with the game day phone in at 5:30, and he doesn't think that goal from Ashley Barnes should have been ruled out. So it's not maybe as clear cut as some might think, but there'll be more discussion on that to come very shortly. Let's round up what's happened elsewhere though, because we know that Newcastle 2, Everton 3 is a full time, Burnley 3, Brentford 4 also a full time. Coventry, Millwall, Ipswich, Wrexham have all won in the Championship. We'll be at those games very shortly, but here at Anfield, Liverpool didn't just get back to winning ways, they scored goals as well, Matt Jones.
They did indeed, 5 of them. Liverpool 5, West Ham 2, the full-time score here at Anfield, but that doesn't quite tell the story of a game of 2 halves really. Liverpool were 3-0 up by the break, profiting from some absolutely woeful defending from corners from West Ham. All 3 of Liverpool's goals coming from corners. The first, Ekitike scoring after West Ham failed to clear one, Gravenberch putting it back into the box and Ekitike converting. Van Dijk then flicked home an excellent delivery after he moved away from his man who didn't follow him well enough, and then Liverpool made it 3 just before half time. Ekitike peeling off at the back post from a corner, laying it off to McAllister, who volleyed into the back of the net. But West Ham were back in it just after half-time. Souček stretching to poke home Diop's cross, only for Liverpool to make it 4-1 through Gakpo, earlier missing a sitter, cutting inside and finding the far corner. That really should have been that, but West Ham got another back shortly afterwards. Castellanos this time heading home again, this time from a corner at the back post to put a few nerves into the Anfield crowd, only for Frimpong's deflected cross to go into the back of the net in the closing stages and give Liverpool a 5-2 win. It's their 4th successive victory across all competitions, so they are in a good bit of form. But West Ham, it continues to be a struggle for them as they lose once more on the road, and that shaky defence has now conceded 55 Premier League goals this season. Liverpool 5, West Ham 2.
Elsewhere, late goals. Reading got a late winner against Bradford, Matt Ritchie in the 97th minute. Even later for Gillingham's winner at Barrow. Relegation threatened Barrow in League 2. That was a winner in the 103rd minute. Solihull Moors equalised in the 95th minute at Scunthorpe, 3-3. Round the grounds for full times in the Championship now. To Coventry first of all. How did the leaders get on, Jeff Peters?
Coventry 2, Stoke 1, Sky Blues 8 points clear at the top of the table, but they left it late, just as they did last season against the Potters. 97th minute then, 94th minute now. Tommy Simpkin had made some great saves, but he was culpable, racing out as the ball fell to Jack Rodoni to scramble at home. Ben Gibson couldn't keep it out and send this record crowd into absolute ecstasy. Hadji Wright's close-range header, his 15th league goal of the season, gave them an early lead. Stoke levelled through. Gibson at the near post, glancing in a corner, their only shot on target. They didn't manage a single shot after the break. Coventry kept plugging away, and in-form Rodoni won it in dramatic fashion for a side surely heading for the Premier League. Coventry 2, Stoke 1.
It was a late winner for Braintree at bottom of the table. Truro twice in a few days they've conceded in injury time to lose games. Back to the Championship, to Deepdale full time there. Anil Condola.
where it's finished Preston 0, Millwall 2. The opener came in the 30th minute after the ball fell perfectly to Ryan Leonard, who was on top to wrap his right foot around the ball into the corner of the goal. Millwall's Femi Aziz is showing all the signs of a top player, and the second goal was all down to him. He picked up the ball on the right hand side and he's done what he's done so often this season, caused havoc for those defenders. He whipped a ball in for substitute Luke Cundle to smash it in from 5 yards out for his third of the season. There's a reason why Millwall are flying high. They score goals, but when they defend with their lives. Touch type marking, strong tackles, and of course they take their chances when it matters the most. That's now 5 wins in their last 7 for Millwall as the Lions roar back to third in the push for promotion. Full time here at Deepdale, where it's finished Preston 0, Millwall 2.
How did it finish at Portman Road? TalkSport's Mike Saul.
Ipswich 3, Swansea 0. A relatively drama-free afternoon for Ipswich, and comfortable in the end thanks to goals from Mehmete, Azon and Hurst. It's a 7th win in the last 8 championship games here at Portman Road, and they got underway when Mehmete rifled in a shot in the 3rd minute to give them the lead after good work by Leif Davis, and then Davis again was provider for Ivan Azon to score from an acute angle just before half-time. George Hurst came off the bench 6 minutes later. A deft touch from a Mehmete cross after he robbed Timon of the ball gave them a 3-0 advantage. Swansea's best chance of the game was the very last kick of the game, a thunderous free kick from Jan Vepotnik, which came crashing back off the crossbar. Deserved win though, Ipswich 3, Swansea 0.
Full time at the Valley for TalkSport, Ian Abrams.
Charlton 0, Wrexham 1, and the story that Wrexham could get promoted right from the National League to the Premier League in successive seasons lives on. They're only 5 points off second now after Ollie Rathbone's winner here. It came after half an hour of them being absolutely battered by Charlton, but without the home side being able to score. Rathbone's goal from the edge of the penalty area. In fact, such was Charlton's dominance, they could have scored about 4 today if they could have got them on target. They're only shot late on from Sonny Carey, beaten away by Okonkwo with a brilliant save. So Wrexham march on, they're certainly into the playoffs and maybe heading for second, you never know. Finished here, Charlton 0, Wrexham 1.
And full time in that big relegation clash at the Kassam. TalkSport's Dave Rowe.
Oxford 2, West Brom 1. That's huge for Oxford on a day when all their rivals have lost, including West Brom, who dominated possession here but conceded to a pair of first half set pieces. The home side ahead through Stanley Mills' header from a Donnelly corner, and then ex-Albion man Will Lancashire made it 2 from a Brannigan free kick. There was a West Brom response from Ollie Bostock with a deflected strike to make it 2-1. The second half for Oxford defend well and defend deep as West Brom didn't take their chances. The biggest coming when Christian Bielik put a free header wide from Morris delivery. The U's held on. They are now back to within 3 points of safety, but there were angry scenes amongst the travelling support. 2 points in 14 away games. The Albion players were booed off, and the board have a big managerial appointment to make because they are bang in trouble. Oxford 2, West Brom 1.
Yeah, they need a manager, a good one, and they need him fast as well. You might want your say on the game day phone in 03717 223344. Full time at Hillsborough, Alan Biggs.
Sheffield Wednesday 1, Southampton 3. Saints are unbeaten in 8 now. They're up 2 places to 7th in the table, but this not quite as comfortable as looked likely at half-time. A strolling 2-0 lead then, just a question of how many it seemed, but as so often, Sheffield Wednesday somehow raised themselves. Jerry Yates pulled a goal back, and but for saves from Daniel Perret, the relegated team might even have clawed out a point here. That possibility negated by Taylor Harwood-Bellis, making it 3-1. All Saints goals resulting from set pieces. James Bree poking in the first, Ryan Manning curling in the second with a delightful free kick, and that's 8 goals in 5 days for Tonda Eckert's side. Serious top 6 challengers. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Southampton 3.
Right, we'll bring you all the full times very shortly. Full classified check only on TalkSport in around about 2 minutes' time. But let's have a look ahead to Leeds Man City at 5:30, and let's get the latest from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage.
Odds update on TalkSport with Betfair. Play in a different league this season with Safe Sum from Betfair. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Well, no Haaland for Manchester City. We believe he had a knock-in training. Sam Rosbottom, is that going to change things at Ellen Roads?
Well, it's certainly not really impacted the odds, to be honest with you. Manchester City still fancied in this one as short as 4-6 to get all 3 points and close the gap to Arsenal. If they do get the win, it could be 2 points, putting pressure on Mikel Arteta's side tomorrow. Big carrot that, isn't it, for the City players. But look, Leeds, they've got a pretty freaky record, haven't they, at Elland Road under the lights? They haven't lost any. Get this, of their last 25 league or playoff games that have kicked off after 5 p.m. They're 7-2 to get the win tonight, and the draw currently 23-10. As you've mentioned, a lot of talk about a certain striker. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, though, he's 11-4 to make the England squad. Could he do it? He's got 10 Premier League goals for Leeds this season. You can back him at 12-5 to add to his goal tally this evening. You can back him at 4-7, in fact, for a shot on target. Quite short, but he has had 3 in his last 2 league appearances. Looking at the City team, as you mentioned, no Erling Haaland. However, you know, there are a couple of players in there that you wouldn't rule out getting on the score sheet if they certainly turn up and have a good day. Omar Mamouche currently 6-5 to get on the score sheet anytime, but I quite like the look of Nico O'Reilly. He's scored in each of his last 2 Premier League appearances for Manchester City, and he's playing a little bit further forward, isn't he, these days. He's 4-1 to score any time in this match. He's another one who's been really well backed in the England squad markets, now as short as 1-6. It looks as though he's going to be on the plane. But if you put him to score, Calvert-Lewin to have a shot on target, and Manchester City to win, all in a bet builder, that comes out at about 9-1. Adrian, don't forget as well, anytime goal scorer and shot on target, just 2 of the many markets that are covered by Betfair's Safe Sub. So if your player comes off, your bet is still on. But absolutely fascinating one, this one, and a lot on the line.
Indeed, it is. Sam, thank you very much. That's all thanks to Betfair. 18+, begambleaware.org.
Odds update on TalkSport with Betfair. Play in a different league this season with Safe Sub from Betfair. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Wow, what a day. We'll reflect on it very shortly. The game day phone-in is coming up as well. 0371722 3344 is the number to call. Now, the only place for a full classified check on national radio is here. TalkSport. Results are in. Let's get the full times.
This is game day.
Full-time classifieds.
In the Premier League, Bournemouth 1, Sunderland 1, Burnley 3, Brentford 4, Liverpool 5, West Ham 2, Newcastle 2, Everton 3, Leeds Man City is at 5:30. Championship, Derby 3, Blackburn 1, Leicester 0, Norwich 2, Portsmouth 0, Hull City 1, Charlton 0, Wrexham 1, Coventry 2, Stoke City 1, Ipswich 3, Swansea 0, Oxford United 2, West Brom 1, Preston 0, Millwall 2, QPR 0, Sheffield United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Southampton 3, League 1, Leyton Orient 1, Barnsley 3, Northampton 1, Peterborough 1, Doncaster 0, Cardiff 4, Exeter 1, Bolton 5, Lincoln 4, Blackpool 0, Mansfield 2, Wimbledon 2, Port Vale 1, Luton 1, Reading 2, Bradford 1, Rotherham 1, Plymouth 0, Stevenage 2, Stockport 1, Wigan 1, Huddersfield 0, Wickham 3, Burton Albion 0, League 2, Cambridge United 1, MK Dons 1, Shrewsbury 1, Walsall 2, Swindon 1, Bristol Rovers 1, Barnet 1, Chesterfield 0, Barrow 0, Gillingham 1, Bromley 2, Accrington 1, Colchester 0, Salford 1, Crewe 2, Tranmere 1, Fleetwood 0, Newport 0, Notts County 0, Grimsby 1, Oldham 2, Crawley 0. In the FA Trophy quarter-finals, Horsham 1, Southend 2, Kidderminster 1, Wealdstone 1, Wealdstone wins 6-5 on penalties. Marine 1, Woking 0, Southport 1, Yeovil 1, Southport win 4-2 on penalties. The draw for the semi-finals will be live Monday afternoon on TalkSport 2. In the National League, Aldershot 0, Rochdale 2, Brackley Town 0, Altrincham 2, Eastleigh 1, Carlisle 2, Gateshead 0, Forest Green 2, Halifax 2, Sutton United 2, Scunthorpe 3, Solihull Moors 3, Tamworth 3, Borehamwood 2, Truro 2, Braintree 3, Morecambe against York City is at 5:30. In the National League North, AFC Telford 2, Radcliffe 0, Alfreton Hereford was postponed, Chester 2, Spennymoor 1, Darlington 2, Bedford 0, AFC Fylde 5, Curzon Ashton 1, Kings Lynn 1, Oxford City 2, Merthyr Town 1, Buxton 3, Peterborough Sports 0, South Shields 3, Scarborough Athletic 2, Macclesfield 2, Worksop 2, Leamington 0. National League South, Chippenham 1, Maidenhead 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 0, AFC Tottenham 2, Dorking 1, Chesham United 1, Ebbsfleet 2, Farnborough 2, Enfield Town 1, Bath City 1, Hampton and Richmond Borough 1, Eastbourne Borough 2, Hemel Hempstead Town 1, Tonbridge Angels 0, Hornchurch 2, Worthing 1, Salisbury 0, Maidstone 1, Slough 1, Dover 1, Torquay 0, Chelmsford 5. Scottish Premiership, Dundee 3, Hibs 3, Falkirk 5, Kilmarnock 1, Hearts 1, Aberdeen 0, Livingston 1, St Mirren 1, Motherwell 2, Dundee United 0. Scottish Championship, Airdrie 3, Morton 1, Dunfermline 1, Queen's Park 0, Partick 0, Arbroath 0, Ross County 2, Wraith Rovers 0, St Johnstone 3, Ayr United 1. Scottish League 1, East Fife 0, Alloa 2, Hamilton 1, Montrose 1, Kelty Hearts 0, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 0, Queen of the South 0, Peterhead 2, Stenhousemuir 1, Cove Rangers 0. Scottish League 2, Clyde 1, East Kilbride 3, Edinburgh City 0, Forfar 0, the Spartans 4 and an Athletic 0, Stirling 1, Dumbarton 1, Stranraer 1, Elgin 2, Irish Premiership, Ballymena United 0, Larne 2, Carrick Rangers 1, Bangor 1, Dungannon Swifts 3, Coleraine 1, Glenavon 3, Portadown 0, and Glentoran 5, Crusaders 1.
Instant scores by satellite. Game Day Live. Talk Sport.
Into the path of Sunderland's Mayenga off the goalkeeper and in. Diarra's shot comes off Petrovic and it's tucked home by Mayenga.
It's Newcastle 2, Everton 3. Newcastle got back into the game through Jacob Murphy, but Barry's just come on a sub and bundled the ball over the line. It's bounced up, hit him in the chest, gone in. Everton 3-2 up.
Burnley 3, Brentford 4, and Damsgaard has got his second of the game in the 3rd minute of injury time. And those Brentford fans who thought they would be heading back south without the 3 points that they thought they earned at half-time are now celebrating and dancing in delight again.
It's in by Evan Nilsson. The goalkeeper came out, completely missed it, and Evan Nilsson was lurking at the back post.
Liverpool 5, West Ham 2, and it's Frimpong, the substitute, who's got it. It's a cross that comes into the box, but it takes a huge deflection off Disasi and goes into the back of the net. So I say it's gone to Frimpong. It'll be an own goal against Disasi.
Premier League is a goal fest this afternoon. It absolutely was. It started live on TalkSport with Sunderland's losing streak coming to an end. Granit Xhaka back as they got a 1-1 draw at Bournemouth at lunchtime live on TalkSport. And then we were treated to what we love on a Saturday afternoon. Goals as they go in, and loads of them. 19 goals in 3 Premier League games that kicked off at 3. And I might have got that wrong because I might have lost count. West Ham were 3 down by half-time here at Anfield. It ended up 5-2, but no goal from Mo Salah. Liverpool up above Chelsea to 5th. Burnley went 3 down at home to Brentford, came back to level at 3-3. Thought they got a winner, but that was ruled out by one of those fractional offsides. Then Mikkel Damsgaard thought he'd scored a very, very late winner for Brentford to make it 4-3. And then Ashley Barnes hit the back of the net for Burnley. VAR check on that for handball. And for the second time, Stockley Park ruled out a Burnley goal. It finished 4-3 to Brentford. Burnley fans fuming. Jordan Pickford pulled off a wonder save to help Everton win at Newcastle 3-2. 3 home defeats in a row in the Premier League for Eddie Howe's side. And when Anthony Gordon was subbed off, he was booed off by some of the Newcastle fans. You can talk about that on the Game Day phone in 03717223344. Elsewhere, late winner for Coventry in the Championship against Stoke. They go 8 points clear at the top of the table. Middlesbrough at Birmingham Monday night, live on TalkSport 2. And all 4 in the playoff places won: Millwall, Ipswich, Hull and Wrexham. Oxford, the only strugglers to win. They stay second bottom, but now only 2 points behind Leicester and 3 behind West Brom, who Oxford beat 2-1. League 1, top 2, both won 4-0. They meet next weekend, Cardiff against Lincoln. League 2, Bromley came from behind to win. Cambridge conceded a late equaliser to Bromley. 4 points clear at the top and still unbeaten at home. And in the National League, no game for York and Rochdale. 1 at Inform, Aldershot to go back top of the table. York play at 5:30. And what about Scotland? Hearts beating Aberdeen 1-0. All they need is Claudio Braga, and he got the only goal to send the Jambos 7 points clear at the top. It's the Old Firm clash at Ibrox tomorrow at 12 midday. Coming up, Game Day phone-in is going to be brilliant. Unmissable radio. Jason Cundy. I mean, where do you start, mate?
Oh my God, and breathe. Goals, goals, goals. Honestly, it was like a highlights package. Sitting in the TalkSport office today, goals going. Every time you turn around, there's another goal going in, or controversy. He covered the Bournemouth game there live on TalkSport earlier today. Liverpool weren't that impressed with Liverpool, but West Ham's defence, my gosh,
mate, honestly.
God. Yeah, Liverpool unconvincing, but the scoreline will probably flatter them. Newcastle, you mentioned that save from Pickford. It's an absolute worldie. Newcastle fans booing off Anthony Gordon, want to hear from them. But the big talking point is going to be Ashley Barnes' goal disallowed, Ada. I have no idea how you can categorically say 100% that hits his arm. We watched it from so many different angles. We're lucky we've got all the angles here. I cannot tell you, Ada, whether it did or didn't. And if it doesn't, if you cannot come away saying 100% hits his arm, give the goal. Give the goal. Burnley fans would love to hear from them. Up and down the country, you are our eyes and ears. Tell us what we haven't seen, tell us what we haven't heard. 03717 223344. Me and Jamie O'Hara in around about 6-7 minutes.
Yeah, can't wait for that, Jason. Thanks very much. Let's go straight to Matt Murray, who's been at Burnley, and he's heard all that from Jason Gundy. He's seen what went on today. I've had messages from people at the game as well, Matt Murray, saying there's no way they can disallow that goal. VAR, quote, is a shambles. And that's an ex-professional footballer messaging me. What say you?
I agree, because when I saw the one angle, you just think it's obvious. You do, the one angle, but then you see it from the other ones, and exactly what Jason's saying. Chris Iwelumo's on the show a lot, he's here. And we're saying, and then I've got loads of lads in the game as well, and my phone's blowing up, and you know, you're in group chats. It is not categorically, you cannot prove 100% that it does or doesn't hit his hand. So if the goal had been disallowed by the ref on the pitch and he says handball, then you probably don't overturn it. But the fact that the referee's given it, they took, because that's why me and John were wondering, why is it taking so long? Because the one angle, you think, yeah, it's obvious. But then when you see the other ones, and that's what it's there for, that's, you know, you got all those different angles, is a massive, massive moment. Look, I don't think Burnley will stay in the Premier League. I don't. But the emotion, everything that's going on, so I totally agree with Jason, is not a clear and obvious handball, not a clear and obvious mistake. You cannot see it. You haven't got like a snickometer or something like that you do at cricket, whether it's touched his arm or not. Then it's a great finish. Absolute drama. So, yeah, for me, VAR has got that one wrong. The offside, that is what it is. It's the semi-automated.
That's a fractional one, though. It's one of those fractionals. That's the kind of thing that players are unhappy with. Can you be certain when the ball was played? Is it so fractional? There's no concept of level anymore, is there?
It needs more margin for error, because to the naked eye, that offside rule of level was designed for the naked eye. But now you've brought technology into it. It's semi-automated. All right, it's a bit quicker, but I totally agree there. It's that fractional. I think there needs to be more margin for error. I'm an ex-goalkeeper, so of course I want saves and clean sheets. But at the end of the day, it's about goals. These Burnley fans have gone through, and the fans, that is the one. They have gone through all this emotion. You heard the booing, everything else, but wow, what a second half of football. It's amazing. When Brentford conceded just before half-time and Burnley came out, you could just feel their tails were up. They could, let's go and have a go. And the stadium got behind them. I don't know how they were so bad in the first half, Burnley, but the second half they're excellent. They can take so many things from it, but it would have felt like a win for them. If they'd have got that point, it would have felt like a win for them. But it was an amazing game, so much drama. Keith Andrews, he's just only a 6-year contract. Honestly, his heart rate must have been going.
He's got another 6 years of this.
Well, his goalkeeper's partners had twins. He's just had kittens. I'm telling you, it was absolutely crazy. But brilliant game. Loads of drama, loads of quality, loads of mistakes. Absolutely loved
Matt,
it.
you just stay there a second. I need a quick one from you on the Pickford side. Let's go to Mickey Gray, who's been at Newcastle 2, Everton 3. There's problems for Newcastle with Anthony Gordon booed off, but talk to me about this Pickford save, the England #1. How good was it, Mickey Gray?
Well, Adrian, when Matt sees it, I think he'll agree with me. It's the save of the season, and it's one of the best saves I've seen for a long time. Everybody in this stadium were out of their seats. They were celebrating from the volley from Tonali, and somehow he's reacted to his right hand side and he's got his fingertips to it and tipped it onto the crossbar. You talk about goals all the time, Adrian, and rightly so, because they're the match winners, but that save has won Everton the match today. It was absolutely sensational, it really was. And I've spoke to you so many times, Adrian, about Jordan Pickford being England's second best ever goalkeeper. I think you remember that conversation we had. When I see him now playing for Everton and with a kind of a solid defence behind him, I think he's now starting to prove how good he is as a goalkeeper in the Premier League as well. Because there was questions at times in an Everton shirt, but I think over the last 2 or 3 seasons, there's not many goalkeepers are better than Jordan Pickford. But when you see the save, and I'm sure Matt will be the same when he sees it as well, it's off the charts. It's incredible.
Mickey, I've seen it, and it took my breath away. Matt Murray has seen it. So very briefly, Matt, what as an ex-goalkeeper yourself, what did you make of the save?
Top save, totally agree. And I think it's a brilliant save. It's an amazing, but I still think Donnarumma's save at Anfield, because of the way it takes the nick and the reach and the way he gets it out, is slightly better. This isn't amazing. He sees it late, defender ducks underneath him and reacts to it, but I think there's a few other goalkeepers in the Premier League that make that, where the Donnarumma one at Anfield, I still feel for me, which was again a very, very important save, because I judge it by the importance of saves too. But they're both world-class, top keepers. I think Pickford's amazing, but I'm still edging the Donnarumma one. Sorry, Mickey. Sorry.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks for that, mate.
By the way, what a place to do it as well. Pickford back in the northeast at Newcastle, where they really don't like him at all. Mickey Gray, Matt Murray, thank you very much. What an afternoon of football. Seriously, if you're in the car with somebody who loves football right now, and you don't particularly like football, I just feel sorry for you, because today it's been sensational. One of the best game day lives around the grounds, goals as they go in. I can remember hosting. What a privilege. Game Day Live is back tomorrow from 1:30 with Sam Matterface, with loads of football in the Premier League. Next is the Game Day phone in. You can have your say. 03717 223344.
Game Day Live on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games flexibly with Now. Like Leeds United versus Man City live today. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
He's having a blinder. He's clipped the post. He's looking formidable. Then substitution. His game might be over, but yours isn't. With Betfair's Safe Sub, your bet simply rolls onto the player coming on. Play in a different league with Betfair.
Valid on selected leagues and markets only. Applies to singles, multiples and bet builder bets on qualified player outcome selections. Does not apply to odds boost. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Game Day Live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
Only one radio heavyweight brings you unbeatable, canvas-thumping coverage of the biggest bouts in world boxing. Talk Sport. Go the distance with unparalleled ringside commentary of the biggest boxing showdowns.
Unbelievable stuff at the Manchester Arena!
With two tough-talking boxing shows, Fight Night and Fight Night Extra.
The fight starts now!
Plus, get total knockout content on our world-class boxing podcasts and dedicated YouTube channel.
Swaggering, full of confidence.
Available now, and it's all for free. Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2, your home of boxing.
On 1089 and 10:53 AM, online and on your smart TV. Game Day phone-in. Talk Sport.
You've got to be saying something.
The Sport Support Network.
And welcome to another exciting phone call.
We speak football.
Game Day phone in on Talk Sport.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome to the Game Day phone in on Talk Sport. I'm your host, Jeremy O'Hara. Alongside me, radio legend, Jason Cundy. This show by the fans, for the fans. Get involved right now. 03717 223344. Goal crazy in the Premier League today. 21 in 4 games. Burnley, they come back from 3-0 down, only to lose it 4-3 against Brentford though. But, come on, these decisions going against them. Unbelievable stuff. Never, ever offside, and never, ever a handball. I can't believe it. Elsewhere, West Ham matched Liverpool at Anfield. We got pumped 5-2. Not sure about Liverpool, though. Not great at the back. Newcastle, though, lost at home to Everton. Anthony Gordon got booed when he come off. You can have your sound at 03717 223344. Big win for Coventry in the Championship. As well for Hearts in the Scottish Premiership. EFL action, loads to go at. The 5:30 game has just kicked off as well. Leeds v Man City in front of TalkSport's Mark Wilson.
Erling Haaland for City. Pep Guardiola makes one change from the win at Newcastle as Cherki comes in. Leeds 6 clear of the drop there. Only one loss in 7 here. They've just had a great chance. Dominic Calvert-Lewin side foots it wide. Leeds 0, Manchester City 0.
Yeah, get involved in the show. We'll get across for all the big moments. I think Mark Wilson's just played down that chance. Calvert-Lewin
word!
Should have scored. He's 7 yards out. Big chance for Leeds. That's a tough game for Manchester City. But get him involved in the show. Loads to go at. 03717 223344.
matey.
How are you?
I'm all good, mate. I don't know whether I can take any more goals.
It's a goals bonanza.
Mate, it was a goal fest.
Yeah, it was.
Every time you looked up, there was either something happening, a goal being scored, a goal being disallowed, and drama right to the very end. A brilliant, brilliant day of Premier League football. However, VAR and the assistants are getting put under the spotlight, and rightly so, in my opinion.
Yeah, look, let's obviously the big talking point in the Burnley game. Yeah. They were 3-0 down at half time, Burnley. Brentford playing really well. Second half, they were brilliant, Burnley. Come back into it. They have a goal to go 4-3, which is, they say it's offside.
It's so tight.
It is so tight. I just don't know how you can give it.
Well, the problem, look, I think we all have to accept that there is going to be a line that's drawn eventually. I don't think you want that line, that where you're offside. And it's the same for everyone. That I'm less concerned about, even though it's tight and it feels so harsh.
Okay,
but the one with the Ashley Barnes one, I cannot accept that, because it's inconclusive. You cannot see categorically if it touches his arm.
No.
Now, when we see it, there's one angle, it looks like it might. Yeah. There's another angle, it looks like it doesn't.
Yeah, no.
So I don't know how you can then come to the conclusion that it's definitely 100% his arm. If you can't come up with that conclusion, you cannot disallow the goal.
You have to be 100%.
Can't disallow the goal.
You have to be 100%, right? Obviously, the referee doesn't give it, so it goes to VAR. They look at it for 5 minutes.
Well, on field, the goal's given.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think you can go against it.
No, I don't think you can. And Stockley Park, they've looked at you and I. We're lucky enough to see all the angles, right, in live time. And you're going, I don't think it has. And I don't know whether. And if you cannot say yes, it definitely has, you have to give the goal. I'm sorry, you've got to give the goal. That is a. Look, I can defend VAR. It's a place in football, and it has to be better. It's never going to be perfect. But today, I can't defend that. Cannot defend it.
Well, let's go straight to Lee. He's a Burnley fan. All right, Lee.
All right, Lee.
Hi, mate. You all right?
Oh, Lee, how are you feeling? Because you got yourself right back in it.
Well, absolutely gutted. Obviously, 35 minutes in, we're 3-0 down, and then we come back 3-1, and there's, slight glimmer of hope, and not just in that game, but for the rest of the season. Obviously, we're down at the bottom for relegation, and we're looking like we're going to go down, but that gives us a chance. And then, you two lads have just described everything I was feeling. That first one is offside by a shirt sleeve.
Yeah, he's so tight, it's ridiculous. Like from the naked eye, and I think most of the time, I think you can tell with the naked eye, really, unless it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
He looks so onside.
To your point, I'll be totally honest. The Ashley Barnes goal, I was standing there going, it's handball. It's handball. I genuinely thought that Ashley Barnes goal was handball, and I'll probably get slated by all Monday.
No, that's fair enough, because at one angle it looks like it might touch his arm. That's fair enough.
I genuinely thought the ball struck his arm, and I saw his arm go backwards, and then I didn't even look at the goal. Before the ball had hit the net, I'd gone, it's handball. I turned away.
Well, I just... As Cundy says, it's not clear and obvious. It's just not clear and obvious.
There was a guy behind me, and we were having a bit of a disagreement, and he was saying, look, the VAR are taking so long, it's not clear and obvious, so it's not clear and obvious, you give it. That's it.
You can't even... I understand. We've all seen goals, not just this season, but seasons gone by, where it's hit the arm, and it's quite obvious, okay? The McAllister one last weekend. Comes off his elbow, right? There's one angle, you can't give those goals. You can't score with your arm. Today's example is so different. It looks like it might, but you can't tell for sure.
Yeah.
You cannot tell for sure.
And just have it right. That's the bigger picture is here that we're in a scrap for, it's looking like we're going down. It's not mathematically certain yet, but chances are we're going down. 3 points today is massive. We've got Everton next. We can get something there. It's not an Arsenal. It's not a Man City. It's Everton. It's doable. Yeah, they're on a decent run. Then we've got Fulham. Then 3 games.
Can I just say this though, and I've got to say it, Lee. You can't be 3-0 down, mate, at home after just over half an hour.
No, I totally agree.
That can't happen either.
And I'm not, this is probably a different call and a different topic, but I think Scott Parker's out of his depth. I really do. He was fantastic for us last season in the Championship. Absolutely great. And he's coming to the Prem, and I'm sorry to say it's his third, fourth chance at a Prem side, and he's gone straight back down. Or it's looking like he's going to go straight back. Teams like us,
You say he's out of his depth, though, Lee, and I get your point because of where you are in the league, but you sold some of your best players. Your keeper left, right? He was fantastic for you last season. Like, how many points he got?
We've replaced him with better. Nebraska is better than Trafford.
Okay, well, fair enough then, but I mean, I think Scott. Where do you expect to be? Like, when I look at your first team and I look at the players you've got, I don't think you're good enough.
Yeah, and that, you're right, and that's my point. Like, it does sound very, very harsh, all putting it on the manager. It's not. You look at Sunderland; they've spent big and they've done well. Leeds spent big; they're not going down. We got 100 plus points, I think it was, at the end of last season, and Sunderland was 30 points behind us in the league.
Yeah.
And they're trouncing teams. They're flying.
Well, they invested well. They've got some better players.
We've seen teams. I remember when Fulham come up and spent 100 million one Premier League season, going back a few years.
Yeah, you're right.
They went down. It's the recruitment. The manager coming up needs support in areas that's not his speciality, right? And I feel a bit for Scott because he's always on a bit of a hiding. He's done brilliantly last year. I don't know really where you expect to be. Maybe you could make a case to say maybe half a dozen points more, maybe. Yeah. But that's still a lot in the Premier League, half a dozen points.
I expect us to be 17th, Cundy, that's it.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. Lee, listen, thanks for your call. I'm going to go to Cliff, who's a Brentford fan. All right, Cliff?
All right, Cliff.
Hello, good evening. How are you?
Yeah, all right, Cliff. Brilliant first half hour, and then second half fell apart.
It's typical Brentford. We can snatch a defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yeah, it's looking that way, but look, you got away with it. Got 3 points.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of VAR. My heart goes out to Burnley supporters. It's the hate that kills you, is what they say, isn't it?
It's true.
But there was also an incident in the box in the first half where Michael Coyote was shielding the ball in the box, and a Burnley defender grabbed him round the neck from behind and pulled him away from the ball. Right. I thought that was a definite penalty.
Right, okay. I mean, we're watching...
No one's talking about that.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm not fudging the issue. I can't remember it. We get all the replays. I'm not even sure they showed a replay on it. I don't remember seeing a replay of that.
No, they didn't even check it. Well, but you can't grab a player around the throat.
I'll have to see. I'll have to see.
It's definite penalty.
Look, but look, Cliff, you're seventh in the table, by the way. I mean, you're in European places right now. It's unbelievable stuff.
I'm not happy.
What do you mean you're not happy?
I'm not happy at all. I was unhappy before Burnley got a goal back.
What do you mean you're not happy?
Brentford have a thing in their game where they have periods of massive complacency and sloppiness.
Right.
Where they're giving the ball away and creating their own problems.
Yeah.
They were so on top in that game, and then they started knocking it around at the back. They beat the press, and then they went backwards again rather than going forwards and created more problems for themselves. They do it quite a lot. So I wasn't happy about that.
Where do you think you should be, though? I mean, when you say you're not happy, that every team has that complaint. Every supporter has that same
Cliff,
about their team.
Cliff, can I make a point? You are the highest you've ever been in the Premier League in your history, ever.
Yeah, no, I want to win it.
Win what?
I'll be brown bread soon.
Mate, you on about, Cliff? Come on, mate.
When we were knocking around in the lower league.
Yeah, I know. Now you're 7th in the Premier League.
Yeah, well, I know, that's good.
You're 2 points behind Chelsea.
We can be better.
I mean, every team can be better, right? I mean, today's an example of that. You were cruising after 35 minutes, and then the goal just for half-time, it shouldn't be. It changed the half-time team talk for both managers. And then you can see just after half-time, I mean, in the space of about 4.5-5 minutes, you conceded 2 goals either side of half-time.
Oh, no, they went to pot, and also we didn't have a leader on the pitch. We didn't have a leader. He wasn't on the pitch.
He's not on the pitch at the time, right, okay.
No, we didn't have a leader on the pitch, and we needed a leader.
Right, Cliff, listen, thanks for your call. Loads to go out. Keep your calls coming in. Let's head back to talk to Mark Wilson.
Yeah, still Leeds 0 and Manchester City 0. That big chance last time we were with us. Dominic Calvert-Lewin side footing wide, unmarked, 7 yards out, hits the target for me. He should have scored. Aronson put that cross in, another great ball in as well that went all the way through the Manchester City box. But since then, City getting hold of the ball a little bit more. They did have one chance. Semenyo, he looked offside, broke through, he was clean through on goal, blazed it high and wide. Flag went up to save his blushes after, but pretty even early on here. Leeds 0, Manchester City 0.
Odds update on TalkSport with Betfair. Play in a different league this season with Safe Sub from Betfair. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Yeah, it's currently Leeds 0, Man City 0. Leeds to win 7-2. They're playing well in this game, let me tell you. The draw is 11-4. Man City to win is 11-8 on. That's all thanks to Betfair. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Odds update on TalkSport with Betfair. Play in a different league this season with Safe Sub from Betfair. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Right, keep your calls coming in. Want to hear from Newcastle fans. Bad result again.
Right, by the way, sorry, can I just say, booing Anthony Gordon?
Yeah, no.
That's an absolute disgrace. Honestly, I don't know what's happened with his relationship with the fans. We took calls the other night. Some fans saying they'll sell him. That's fine, you can sell players. Cannot be booing your players when they're wearing the badge. Like, honestly, that is absolutely disgusting. For him to come off, he might have given the ball away for one of the goals, actually.
He did, the third goal.
Right, the third goal. The players give balls away, it happens.
Yeah, I know.
You cannot boo him when he comes out. You're forcing him out.
4 goals in the Champions League in the other day.
Yeah, you
come on.
I think that's poor, mate.
I agree with you.
Really poor.
Well, we're going to hear from Newcastle fans next. 03 717 22 33 44.
Game day phone-in on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
So, for my pension investment, should I pay a flat fee or a percentage fee? A percentage fee will get bigger as my pension grows, but Interactive Investor's flat fee will stay the same, meaning I get to keep the money I make. Obviously.
It's raining.
For over 500,000 investors, the penny's dropped. A Which recommended personal pension provider for 4 years running. Interactive Investor. I think, therefore II. Remember, when investing, your capital is at risk.
I've got that feeling. Yeah, butterflies in the stomach. Yeah. My heart is racing. I'm smiling for no reason at all. I can't think about anything else.
Well, what's their name?
It's Skoda.
With 0% APR for 3 years across the Skoda range with Solutions PCP, it's love at first drive. But this love story ends March 1st, so visit skoda.co.uk. Indemnities may be required, maximum 36-month term, Skoda Finance.
Get 3 months half price when you switch to an unlimited SIM with 3. That means quick streaming, faster downloads, and more money to spend on the things you love. Join the UK's fastest 5G network and get your unlimited SIM today. Buy now in store or c3.co.uk.
Unlimited 24-month light plan. Proof of switching required. Based on Ookla speed test intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved. Subject to credit checks and terms.
Hey Sainsbury's, have you got anything to help my money go further?
Well, if you want to make some big savings, make sure to use Nectar Prices and your Nectar Prices at Sainsbury's. Together, they can save you over £450 a year on your food shop.
Bring it on.
Download the Nectar app and tap into great savings. Sainsbury's. Good food for all of us. 18 plus Nectar app required. For full terms, see help.sainsburys.co.uk/help/Nectar prices.
The year is 2006. Pluto is reclassified as a dwarf planet. Big deal. But speaking of big deals, in Bolton, England, family bakers Warburtons took the nation by storm, with a fleet of big orange lorries now delivering to every corner of the land. They were really on a roll, unlike that pun. Warburtons, toasting 150 years.
It's the last chance to get yourself a ticket for tonight's Lotto draw.
It could be you.
Lotto from the National Lottery. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Game day phone in on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games flexibly with Now. Like Arsenal versus Chelsea live tomorrow. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Get updates on the teams and squads, plus all the latest betting odds. All it takes is just one tap. Kill boredom dead with the TalkSport app.
The TalkSport app. Hear, watch and scroll unbeatable content from the world's biggest sports radio station. Whenever you want, wherever you want. Available from the App Store now. Terms and conditions apply. It's football on the line.
Game.
And Jason Cundy, 03 717 22 33 44. Let's go straight to some Newcastle fans. Anthony Gordon got booed off. Let's go to Andy. All right, Andy?
Andy.
All right, lad.
All right, matey.
Andy, how you feeling? I mean, terrible result for you, really, and Anthony Gordon got booed.
Yeah, well, if you remember, I spoke to you last week on the way home from the game, and you told me that Anthony Gordon would get into any team in the Premier League. Yep. And I disagreed with you. I told you he's not as good as you all think he is, and he was terrible again today.
He's not the only one, though. Why all of a sudden is he being targeted?
Because of his lack of effort.
I don't see that side of his game. I mean, I watched the game.
Mark Gay and City inside their own half. Thought it was interesting, actually. Our BBC colleague Dale Johnson has been at the IFAB meeting today in Cardiff, the body that sets the laws of the game in football, and there are a number of measures that are being taken to try and speed the game up, including from goal kicks, and you'll be able to read all of that on the football pages of the BBC Sport website from Dale, as Leeds have it with Bogle, who turns, could have gone backwards there, is being put under pressure by Shirky. He's not being fouled. Yes, he is. He is being fouled.
He's got away with that. He really has got away with that. It was right in front of the Leeds bench. Daniel Farker made his feelings quite clear to the referee. I think he's fortunate to get a free kick there.
Yes, and Bernardo Silva wagging his finger in the face of Peter Banks.
He's Pep Guardiola's boss on the pitch, isn't he?
Yeah. Leeds 0, Manchester City 0. That vital interception when he scored the goal at Anfield, Bernardo Silva, to make it 1-1. It felt at the time that was such a significant day in this Premier League title race when Manchester City were 1-0 down at Anfield in the 84th minute. A foul on Goodmanson, so it's a free kick to Leeds over there on the left-hand side. Stacks come across to take it, and just places the ball down. Referee's going to pace out the 10 yards. Interesting, you mentioned it was in front of Daniel Farker where the free kick was given. We had a refereeing seminar with Roberto Rossetti the other week in Brussels at the Nations League draw, and he gave us these facts and figures about how many more free kicks are given in front of the benches. Here's the free kick, Stack in, Calvert-Lewin heads it down but wide. He might even have been impeded by his own man there. James Justin couldn't get a clean header on it behind goal kick.
A simple ball in from Leeds' left-hand side. Stack with his right foot in swinging. Manchester City line drops deep. Calvert-Lewin gets a decent header on it, just no power, never going to trouble the goalkeeper from there.
So Manchester City take a quick goal kick, and Rodri smashes it downfield, and O'Reilly heads it on, but Rodon is there. Ampadu did well in a tight area. He's able to work it to Goodmanson, who's got a long green smear across his back, and Goodmanson takes it on and crosses left-footed across the penalty area. Aït-Nouri, Bogle was coming and then makes contact with the Manchester City man, who goes tumbling down onto the surrounds of the pitch, but before that had put the ball out for a throw into Leeds United down the right.
Well, maybe the pitch isn't as good as we actually think it is. It looks fantastic from up here, but that's a groundsman's trick. Put up a little bit of green paint and green spray in areas. But like you say, Goodmanson's shirt at the back, he's got a big tyre mark, hasn't he? All the way down his back of green.
Leeds United groundsman will be after you, Paul Robinson.
It's alright, I don't need it anymore. I don't play on this surface anymore.
Throw in Ampadu from the right, in it goes, headed down by Rodri, back across the penalty area. Ampadu gets there, but so does O'Reilly. Final touch off the Manchester City man, corner from the right.
Now, they look so much better, Leeds, when they're on the front foot and they're playing in an aggressive style. Defensive, allowing Manchester City possession. They're going to sit off and they're going to sit deep, and at some point they will get punished, but for Leeds it's about maintaining the tempo.
So it is a Leeds corner. Still waiting for the opening goal. Leeds United and Manchester City stacked to take the corner. Out swinger, comes off the head of O'Reilly. Oh, and then a scuffed shot from Goodmanson on the edge of the penalty area. Headed forward by Aronson. Oh, only half cleared by Diaz. Actually worked it to his right to Bernardo Silva, who so coolly flicked it forward to Rodri. Now Bernardo Silva's under some pressure there. Plays it back across his own penalty area. Diaz has to get there. Aronson's chasing him. Turns back out to the far side. And Diaz is able to clear it. And then Semenyo goes tumbling down. Challenged by Stroud. Free kick to Manchester City. Well won, the free kick by Semenyo.
Yeah, Pep's not happy down beneath us. He's pacing up and down his technical area. You see him with his hands in his pockets. He's literally pacing from side to side. They're struggling to get out at the moment, Manchester City, the way that Leeds are committing men forward. They're committing to the press, but I think the thing for Manchester City is once they break through that press, then Leeds would have a problem.
Yes, the lead at the top of the table, 5 points. As I mentioned, at Anfield, Liverpool had won that match. If Manchester City had lost it, that would have been 9 points. It was 9 points the night before Arsenal's lead after they won against Sunderland.
9 points with 15 minutes to go, wasn't it, at Anfield?
Well, less than that. It was 84th minute. It was still 1-0 to Liverpool before Bernardo Silva scored the goal. Manchester City go back towards the halfway line, right-footed out towards the left-hand side. I guess Arsenal, Mikel Arteta will be following this, desperately hoping for Leeds United to take something off Manchester City. Ait Nouri in towards Shirky, and then Rodri goes back to Diaz, who shakes himself and passes it with his right foot to Mateus Nunes. Mateus Nunes, the Portuguese international, Brazilian born, turns, Shirky, then Rodri, then back to Mateus Nunes, whose cross comes into the penalty area but doesn't beat the first man, Goodmanson, who can just head it out on the far side. Still, Darlow has not had a save to make.
They do miss Haaland. No, it's still early in the game. What are we, 29 minutes into the game approaching, but actually without that figurehead of a number 9, yes, they've got the attacking quality on the pitch, but actually there's nobody that's occupying the 3 central defenders.
Yes, again, if you've just joined us, no Erling Haaland for Manchester City today. Pep Guardiola said before the match, picked up an injury a couple of days ago, didn't specify what it was, but said it was not a big injury. Mateus Nunes crossing, but Rodon is able to turn and clear that away, and Aronson trying to stretch and get there, but Manchester City have got it back. Choice of listening right now on Sports Extra, Super League, Warrington against Wakefield, and on Sports Extra 2, the Catalans against St Helens. And Manchester City with the ball on the left hand side. Ait Nouri, 2 Leeds men with him, goes past Justin, the ball runs away from him though, and it's a goal kick. Groans. Ait Nouri thought it might have been a corner, given as a goal kick to the home side.
Almost in that second wave that we speak about, with Manchester City now dominating possession and Leeds sitting off. It's like a boxer, isn't it? At the start of the game they were going at Manchester City, then they've had a break, then they've gone at Manchester City again, and now it seems like they're having a break and sitting off again.
And Warrington are 2-0 up against Wakefield Trinity in the early stages. That match is live on BBC Two as well, incidentally. And if you can't sleep tonight, or if you're up late, the Super League from Las Vegas this evening, and Hull KR against Leeds will be on Sports Extra.
I'll be watching that, John. I'll be watching that. My old man's out there. My old man's there.
Vested interest.
There certainly is, yeah. My family.
Robinson contingent.
There is a few out there looking forward to that game this evening. And by the way, York had another fantastic result against the other side of Hull yesterday as well. 2 wins.
I bet the Robinsons didn't take much persuading to go to Las Vegas.
I think the Christmas present was well received.
The biggest surprise is you're not there.
Mate, I can't leave you, John, you know that. Not at this stage of the season.
No, not when things are getting into March tomorrow, building towards the climax. Leeds 0, Manchester City 0. Yet to absolutely hit the dramatic heights this match. But Leeds United are playing their part, and they are doing their best to not let Manchester City settle. And we can see already this is a test for Pep Guardiola and his team, particularly without Erling Haaland. I think we'll just have to take Pep Guardiola at his word that it's not a big injury for Erling Haaland, but such big matches coming. Here's Mateus Nunes, he's released down the right, and then he gives the ball. Bernardo Silva allows it to run. Bernardo Silva's ball back into the penalty area, straight into the path of Ampadu, who swings a a left foot through it, doesn't put it out of play, and then Gudmundsson, who's trying to challenge Shirky, or who is it down there? Bernardo Silva. He's trying to get his leg around Bernardo Silva, made contact with Bernardo Silva, but also put the ball out of play, and the assistant on the far side simply gave a throw-in to Leeds United, and Bernardo Silva has stayed on the ground.
Well, it was a clash of both of them. Bernardo Silva first runs into Gudmundsson, then Bernardo Silva runs into Gudmundsson runs into Bernardo Silva, catches him, and I think it was probably more a popularity contest in that far left-hand corner for the assistant.
That is a very good way of putting it. I mean, it was a high foot by Gudmundsson underneath the left armpit of Bernardo Silva, which could easily have been given as a free kick to Manchester City.
And the assistant chose to give neither and just had a throw-in.
Yes, in the corner between the Revy stand and the Jack Charlton stand at Elland Road, and got a great cheer for it as well. This, incidentally, Paul, is the same officiating team, Peter Banks, Blake Antrobus, Edward Smart, who were at Tottenham last Sunday and had all of the problems with their communication. As City, that's a nice ball forward from Shirky. This is from Marmoush. Marmoush into the penalty area, cuts back, and as he tried to lay it back across to Semenyo, it really came to nothing. Poor from Manchester City, from Marmoush.
They've had decent possession, Manchester City, at times in this game, but it's all been in the middle third. Actually, what they've created in the final third has been very, very minimal. Carl Darlow has been very underemployed.
Very. Here's Rodri. Rodri's fortunate, bounced back to him. Leeds have already got two men around Rodri there as they go back towards the halfway line. Fans below us here just applauding as one or two of the substitutes come out to warm up. City with Semenyo, central area. Aronson bounces back to Diaz. Diaz's ball to the right hand side. Manchester City on the move. It's worked on Mateus Nunes. His ball all the way across the 6-yard box. That's the best we've seen from Manchester City. No one could get a touch in the middle. There was no one there, actually, in the black Manchester City shirt.
That's all it takes. Quick movement, a quick 1-2. Ball flashes across the 6-yard box, and that's what a quality team can do to you.
Rodri playing it back to Bernardo Silva, who, it's hardly his fault, should have had a free kick. It wasn't given to him. And he's been booed now for the temerity of thinking that he might have had a free kick. Shirky, left-footed, flicks it out here to Ait Nouri. Ait Nouri with Bogle in front of him. Shirky back to Ait Nouri, could open up here. The ball all across to the near post is put behind by Ampadu. He was there, Strout was there between them, they put it behind.
That's better from Manchester City, and it's no coincidence it's in the wide areas. Leeds with this back five and the three central defenders, they're quite happy when all the traffic is diverted into the middle and the width of the 18-yard box. Comfortable defending that. The two best moves that Manchester City have just had, well-worked moves down the flanks, crosses into the box.
That's Paul Robinson. This is 5 Live from the BBC. Listen as well via the BBC Sounds app. All the live radio is there. You can pause, rewind, listen again. Right now, Shirky is ready to take this corner for Manchester City, their first of the match. In it goes towards the back post. Strout gets up, does well, heads it away. Rodri with a touch on the edge of the area, plays it back further away from the box to Bernardo Silva, still being booed. Shirky cutting in from the left, plays it across to Mateus Nunes. Mateus Nunes then curls it back out to the left hand side. Bernardo Silva, the boos are following Bernardo, and then Shirky, Aronson trying to force him infield, which he does, then puts the challenge in. Manchester City back with it. Strout steps in, wins the ball back. It's been overrun by Ampadu, and Manchester City have won it back again. Bernardo Silva, his low ball through, bounces away, and Leeds are able to clear. Stack, it's a 50-50 with Mateus Nunes, and it's the Manchester City player who is able to emerge with the ball. So Leeds 0, Manchester City 0, with 10 minutes to go to half time. As I say, a string of commentaries tomorrow on 5 Live and Sports Extra. Rangers Celtic, don't miss that. That is on 5 Live from 12 o'clock. 2 o'clock Manchester United Crystal Palace, 4:30 Arsenal Chelsea, and also Fulham Tottenham. That's such a big game for Tottenham on Sports Extra as the ball comes into the Leeds penalty area. Oh, James Justin headed it. Darlow came for it, didn't get there, but the defender was able to get an effective header on it. Just a little bit of indecision there for Leeds. Comes back, Ruben Diaz's ball in. O'Reilly tries to get his head to it. Leeds clear, only out to Rodri. Thought about the shot. Calvert-Lewin actually did well, stopped them from being able to do that. City are building a bit of momentum here as we enter the last 10 minutes of the first half. Ait Nouri, little piece of skill from him, playing the ball from foot to foot. Shirky is able to receive it from Gay. A little shimmy from him. And Leeds having to be content with Manchester City in possession inside their half. O'Reilly, and then back it goes towards the halfway line again. And the other match tomorrow, Brighton-Nottingham Forest, which is a 2 o'clock kickoff, which you can hear on Sports Extra 2. City still in possession. Shirky just rolls it into space on the right-hand side. Mateus Nunez with Goodmanson. Shirky, his movement is brilliant, isn't it? Ryan Shirky. And then back to Diaz. Diaz on the edge of the penalty area. Aronson with the challenge. Back to Diaz. His ball across. No one in the middle or in the place where it mattered. And Bogle was able to head it away. Stack, he's beaten in the air. Ricochets forward. Ait Nouri gets it down, and City will go back into their own half. Indeed, Pep Guardiola's pointing them to go back there into their own territory.
No one in the middle, or no one in the space where Erling Haaland would occupy. Doing really well, Manchester City, in the wide areas, sometimes refusing the ball into the box because there is nobody there.
City again, flick to Mateus Nunez, then into the penalty area. That's cleared away by Gruev, who is the man back inside his box. Leeds well drilled here, well organised for this match. When they've come forward, they've been effective. Their press has been good, and when they've had to defend, they've been in the right places. Ball into the Leeds box again. This time it's Ampadu who scampers back into his own box and with his left foot clears it away up towards Calvert-Lewin. Challenging, tangling with Diaz. City have got it back.
It's finding the balance for Leeds, because you say, you can watch them and you can say obviously this week they've worked defensively on a team shape, and from our high elevated position here on the gantry you can see the team move as a unit, but it's finding the balance between that and the high press, because at the moment they're either high up the pitch pressing or they're sitting off.
Still 0-0 here at Elland Road. Those floodlights now beginning to take full effect as Semenyo bounces off him. Lovely roll from him. Still got it. Good persistence from the former Bournemouth man. And then Rodri. Stack did well, got a foot in. Stack takes the ball away into the centre circle, plays it forward to Aronson. Aronson's got a long way to go into the area to beat Donnarumma, who comes out and makes the block. Narrowed the angle and was able to effectively block it behind, back onto Aronson and behind.
Was never convinced that he'd score, Brendan Aronson. Never convinced at all. Stack does really well, breaks out of defence. There would have been a VAR check to see if Aronson was offside. Almost on the halfway line, works the ball through.
Now it's City. Leeds players falling and bouncing off him. Marmoush shoots from the angle, but Darlow's able to go down, spreads himself down to his left and was able to make a routine save, and then overarms it out to Gruev. Gruev's pass, he could have picked out Calvert-Lewin, could have picked out Aronson. He passed it straight to Gay.
It's opening up this, but the last thing that Leeds need to do is to go toe-to-toe and give Manchester City these spaces.
And they are finding spaces with Mateus Nunez. Here's the cross. O'Reilly with a header. That's saved by Darlow. And then it's headed back to him. O'Reilly was almost in again. Well, Ampadu, almost inexplicably, even though Darlow had just made a parry, headed it back to his goalkeeper, who was barely off the ground, and almost let in O'Reilly.
I mean, it's a great save. It's a really good save for Karl Darlow. He's going the wrong way. He checks back onto his left-hand side. He gets two hands on it. And what the goalkeeper does, he pushes it high up into the middle of the 18-yard box. Ethan Ampadu, he just looks at his goalkeeper as the ball's dropping, heads it back towards goal. I mean, the goalkeeper's still picking himself up from the bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah, thanks very much. Shirky with this latest corner for Manchester City, which is headed away by Justin Bogle. Then I think pulls back Shirky. He does. Shirky went down. We had a brilliant view of that though, Paul. I mean, we're staring right down on it here. Hand on the shoulder. Shirky went down. It's only ever going to be a free kick to Manchester City.
Yeah, they're struggling to get a foothold in this at the moment, Leeds. They just need to calm things down, get a little bit of sustained possession, get higher up the pitch, because at the moment Manchester City are just putting the foot on the pedal.
Yeah, it was difficult this match, even though Leeds have been on the run that they have. It wasn't too long ago that Arsenal came here and won very comfortably 4-0.
They were good, weren't they, when they came here? Because that was when there was a time where obviously questions are going to be asked all season. But when they came here, it's our big test, it's going to be difficult. Arsenal came here and they were very dominant.
Manchester City looking to to get the first goal of this match as half-time approaches. Set piece opportunity. Bernardo Silva and Ait-Nouri. It's Bernardo Silva, left-footed, who plays it in, but that's headed away by Justin for Leeds United. Rodri just allowing the ball to roll towards him. It's just 10 yards ahead of the halfway line and goes back to Mateus Nunes in the centre circle. Yes, floodlights in full effect. Mark Chapman referenced this before the start of the match. Ait-Nouri skips away from Stack, gets the ball in, O'Reilly turns, then Marmoush was in as well, but so was Stroud, and the defender did well against Marmoush, and he wasn't able to get any meaningful touch on it, and Darlow was just able to drop on it.
It was a mess. Ended up getting caught underneath O'Reilly's feet, just 2 or 3 yards outside the 6-yard box. Good ball in again from Ait-Nouri.
Yes, this fact about the floodlights, Paul, which you've probably heard this week, which is a real fact of the 2020s, I think, this. So Leeds, in matches at Elland Road that have kicked off after 5 o'clock, they're unbeaten in their last 25 league or playoff matches, which is quite niche and has the air of AI about it to me.
120, drawn 5. Yeah. It's an incredible record, isn't it?
Yeah. But it is a fact, apparently. Offside flag against Manchester City, and it's a free kick.
Are you suspicious of that fact? Is that the AI bit that you've got your suspicions? I can tell by your face for our listeners. He's suspicious.
Just got the air of, give me some niche facts about Leeds playing at Elland Road kind of feel to it. But you've played here, what it's like to be a Leeds United player in this stadium when things are going well.
I think that's anywhere, John, in all honesty. You look back over the years, the 12 o'clock kickoffs, I mean, we've had some great 12 o'clock kickoffs, but they're generally not classics, are they? The games that you look back on and you think that are really memorable, 9 times out of 10 they're later in the day under the lights when there's a great atmosphere.
Well, it's 0-0. This has not been a classic, but it's certainly a contest. James Justin forward, Calvert-Lewin, Aronson tried to get a touch on that, it was bouncing. Mark Gay does well, just gets himself in the right place. It is such a part of his game, isn't it, that he's able to do that. Mark Gay, John Stones on the bench. I'd quite like to see a bit of John Stones, Mark Gay playing together before the end of the season.
His positional awareness, Mark Gay, having watched him over the years at Palace and obviously now coming to Manchester City, and he's just dropped into this Manchester City team like he's been here for years. He gets himself in trouble at times, but his positional awareness and his positional sense and his pace, he's such an intelligent defender.
And at the same time, talk about John Stones, and he's played most of his football so far with Husanov, who's on the bench. But Diaz-Gay's not a bad combination, is it? Either?
No, the options that he's got available, Pep, certainly be the envy of many.
Here is Mark Gay stepping forward with the ball. Gives it to Ait-Nouri. 0-0, 5 live. We'll have more reaction coming for you at half-time. In fact, it's probably going to be absolutely packed at half-time with the reaction that we'll have from the goal-packed matches earlier. So that is coming up with Mark Chapman during the half-time break. Manchester City trying to get their noses in front before that half-time whistle. With the ball inside the Leeds half, here's Rodri, Manchester City, who've won their last 5 matches against Leeds United. Playing the ball infield towards Marmoush. Ait-Nouri now into the penalty area. Ait-Nouri's ball across was deflected away, still inside the box. Marmoush with the turn, and then back out to Rodri, and Leeds have got everyone back behind the ball. Just no space there. Leeds, too many bodies, were able to clear it away.
The commitment to the cause there for Leeds United. You can see the pride they took in defending.
Yeah, just heard it there. 2 minutes of added time to be played here at Elland Road on this Saturday evening. You can see a man in a long blue coat just making his way up the yellow steps early. It's back to the match as Leeds defend with Ampadu, who's clearing it away, and the ball bouncing. Calvert-Lewin with Mark Gay. Leeds United fans appealing for absolutely anything. They feel that Calvert-Lewin might have been fouled. Calvert-Lewin, who should probably have put Leeds ahead early in the match, Paul.
Had a wonderful opportunity, whether it would have stood for VAR or not. He's had 1 or 2 chances playing in the width of the 18-yard box. Certainly been a real asset for Leeds this season.
City with Rodri. Mark Gay then rolls the pass here to Ait-Nouri, who's now getting a run as the left back with O'Reilly in midfield. Ait-Nouri, since he came back from the Cup of Nations. Rodri, his pass out towards the right-hand side. Mateus Nunes has that ball down. Aronson is there with him. So back it goes to Ruben Diaz. Diaz just trying to find a position to play it into the penalty area, but no, back he goes. Gay, now Rodri. Nico O'Reilly again. O'Reilly, then Rodri, who's passed it straight onto the chest of Aronson, but O'Reilly does well, puts the tackle in. Aronson's gone down. I don't think that'll be given as a free kick, and the referee's not interested in stopping play, so Aronson has to get back to his feet, which he does.
Miraculous recovery again, isn't it?
Amazing.
He wanted the physio, didn't get the free kick, and all of a sudden the ball comes near him. He's fine.
Back on his feet.
Never seen that before.
Like magic. Here's Shirky. Shirky with Bogle. Oh, that's a nice pass from Shirky. Ait-Nouri's ball across. Semenyo in the middle, slides it in. 1-0 Manchester City. That's the move of the match so far. Super from City, and Semenyo is there to score his 6th goal already for Manchester City, and to make it Leeds United 0, Manchester City 1.
They've been at the best when they work the channels, and that's a really intricate move from Manchester City. Super move down this left-hand side, a really good ball across the 6-yard box. Semenyo, he times his run into the 6-yard box to perfection. First time into the goal, nothing that Carl Darlow can do about it. Jerky it is, he plays a lovely pass down the left-hand side into Ait-Nouri, lets the ball run across him. First time across the 6-yard box, almost impossible to defend for Leeds United. First time finish for Semenyo, really well worked goal.
Yeah, just slid in, went down onto his left knee, converted it with his right in the 6-yard box, and that's what City have been looking for in all of the periods of possession that they've had in this match. That kind of moment, and that's what they do.
Well, I said earlier, John, didn't I? I said that the times that they've looked the best is when they get out the middle of the field. The middle is where the traffic is, the middle is where the bodies are. Get the ball wide, get the crosses going across the 6-yard box. That's exactly what they did. Ait-Nouri's been a threat down this left-hand side. Super ball across and a really well-timed run from Semenyo.
The goal scored 2 minutes into added time at the end of the first half, and there is the half-time whistle, and that's such a disappointment for Leeds United. But Manchester City, quality counts with that goal.
Exactly right, John. That's what good teams do, and that's what good players do. For all the threat that Leeds have had, and for all the noise when they've got the high press, the 2 early chances that they had for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Leeds have looked good when they've pressed Manchester City higher up the field. When they sit off, Manchester City have showed their quality. They've got in the wide areas, they've moved the ball quickly, the balls that have flashed across the 6-yard box, and that's exactly where the goal came from. A really well worked, quick, decisive move.
So there we are, no Erling Haaland, but right at the end of the half, Antoine Semenyo steps up, his 6th goal for Manchester City, so that's 16 this season with the 10 that he scored for Bournemouth. And at half-time here at Elland Road, Leeds United 0, Manchester City 1.
And we'll be back for the second half on an afternoon that has produced an awful lot of goals in the Premier League earlier. Burnley 3, Brentford 4. Burnley had been 3-0 down, they got it back to 3-all. They then had a goal disallowed for offside through VAR. Then Brentford went 4-3 up. Then Burnley had another goal disallowed for an Ashley Barnes handball, and Brentford held on to win. We will hear from both managers during half-time. Everton won 3-2 at Newcastle. Liverpool beat West Ham 5-2. Bournemouth won. Sunderland won. Alan Shearer and Ashley Williams with Gabby for Match of the Day at 10:30 tonight on BBC One. Coventry are 8 clear at the top of the Championship. They got a late winner against Stoke. Second place Middlesbrough go to Birmingham on Monday. Millwall are now within a point of the automatic promotion spots after they won at Preston. League One leaders Cardiff won 4-0 at Doncaster. Second place Lincoln also won 4-0 against Blackpool. It's now 16 games without defeat for them. Bromley 4 clear at the top of League Two after they beat Accrington Stanley, and Hearts now 7 clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership after they beat Aberdeen. Motherwell won as well, so they're just a point behind third place Celtic. Celtic go to Rangers tomorrow, and you can hear that on 5 Live Sport from midday. So in the Premier League, Manchester City a goal up at Leeds. In the National League at half-time, Morecambe 0, York 0. York in second behind Rochdale in the race for automatic promotion. Scott Parker, Keith Andrews and Nuno Espirito Santo among the voices you will hear during half-time after Nick Qureshi in the news at 6:20.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
US and Israeli forces have carried out military strikes across Iran. President Trump said the major combat operations would pave the way for Iranians to take over their government. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu claimed the regime in Tehran posed an existential threat. Iran launched retaliatory strikes targeting Israel, US military bases in the Middle East and Gulf states. Those are the sounds from Qatar's capital, Doha. The Israeli military says its defence systems have intercepted missiles. While the UK was not involved in this morning's strikes, the Prime Minister has revealed RAF planes have been mobilised to defend Britain's interests. An emergency meeting of the UN Security Council has been called for 9 o'clock tonight. Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has condemned the military escalation, warning that international peace and security are being undermined. And one other story tonight, Josh Simons has resigned as a Cabinet Office Minister over allegations a think tank he ran before entering government paid to investigate journalists. The MP for Makerfield says he's become a distraction from the government's work, despite Sir Keir Starmer's ethics advisor finding he had not breached the ministerial code.
5 Live Sports.
Super League.
To win it for Hokea! And he does!
Celebrating with this special group of players.
And Old Kingston Rovers create their own history. Mikey Lewis! Man of the moment!
It's easy to talk about it, but it's a lot harder to do it.
He stepped up and got his side off the mark.
Super League.
Look at the scenes behind the post. Wow. It is jubilation and joy.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
2 Super League games going on at the moment. Warrington lead Wakefield 14-2 at half-time. You can watch that on BBC Two. And midway through the first half, Catalan 0, St Helens 6. Hull KR against Leeds from Las Vegas. You'll be able to hear from midnight tonight on BBC Sounds. Let's go to the Premier League then. Burnley mounted an incredible second half comeback against Brentford. They were 3-0 down, 3-1 down at half-time. They got it back to 3-3. They then had another goal ruled out before Mikael Damsgaard struck in the 93rd minute to put Brentford 4-3 up. Then Burnley went down the other end and had a last-gasp Ashley Barnes equaliser overturned by VAR for an apparent handball. Here's Scott Parker.
I think we could be critical at this moment, and certainly I can, maybe in certain elements, and maybe the start of the game. I don't think I can remotely even contemplate speaking about the negatives, really, because the positives were in terms of our reaction, 3 goals down. Of course, like I said, we can be critical of that, but our general reaction, the fight, the spirit to get back into the game, 2 goals disallowed by the really finest of margins were defining really for us. And so I'm probably more sad than frustrated and disappointed. I'm probably more sad. I'm sad for the group because it takes a certain type really to be in that arena at half-time. At times your own supporters being hugely critical of you, and to come out and show the spirit and to stand up to the challenge which we faced here today, not just from Brentford but from the general atmosphere, was something that I'm hugely proud of this team for. And I say that weekly because obviously we've not won the game, but yeah, there was many positives really, and that makes me proud of this team.
You think you've won it right at the end, VAR offside. You think you've got the equaliser even later, VAR handball. That must have been so hard to go through on the touchline.
Yeah, it was. It was. I think I've been around now since VAR's come in, and I had strong views a long time ago about VAR, and obviously in the modern day we want perfection, and of course there's elements, if it is what it is, and VAR, I've not seen it back, and offside's offside, and if the handball's handball, that's the way it is. And that was heartbreaking for us really, because I think we deserved that. Second half I thought we was incredible really, and to score 5 goals in the space of 60 minutes really from the 30 minutes when we was down 3-0 was full credit to us really. And VAR and the fine margins of technology to the inch of a sleeve calling something offside is the game of football we live in now, so we accept that really, and that's the way it is.
So that was Scott Parker. Here's his opposite number, Keith Andrews.
Obviously you're contemplating what you can do to affect the game, and whether that's from the bench, whether that's messages. But ultimately where it comes down to is you have to have trust in the players that you have, and I do have trust. Of course there's going to be moments where we don't do things as well as we could. Just said to the players that we need to learn from it. We've grounded out, and that's another learning curve for us. But yeah, well, listen, I'm well aware of what Burnley can pose, and this place can pose. I've come here for many, many years. I watched them play Palace a few weeks ago. They scored 3 goals in, I think it was 7 or 8 minutes from 2-0 down to win the game. I know what they're capable of. I know how much they're fighting to stay in this league. Always knew it was going to be a difficult game. Would I have taken 4-3 before the game? Yeah, for sure.
Let's switch to West Ham next. They stay in the bottom 3. They were beaten 5-2 by Liverpool at Anfield. Here's Nuno Espirito Santo.
The final result, and at half-time also, losing 3-0. When you play good, we have chances, we create so many situations. And in terms of the game, when the ball on play, we were okay, but disappointing as a coaching staff to concede set pieces. But the message was clear at half-time, okay, this happens, this is football, deflections can happen. Let's try to make it to our side. And the way the players came in the second half, we score early, we create a lot of situations. So a lot of positives, but also a lot of mistakes that need to be looked at and improve.
And in terms of the bigger picture, obviously other teams around you have been picking up points of late. Is that something that actually makes it better for you? The more people that are involved in this end of season relegation scrap, teams below pulling the teams just above them down into it?
No, look, we're going to get into the final sprint of the season. This is when everything is going to be decided. So what we have to do is keep fighting, keep believing. Because there's a lot of football to be played, and like I said, I think it may be absurd to say, but we play a good game and we lose. Okay, let's understand it, let's accept it, let's take it on the chin and react and bounce back against Fulham.
Gary Flintoff with the questions to Nuno. Tierno Barry got a late winner for Everton as they won 3-2 at Newcastle. Here's Eddie Howe.
It's a tough one for us to take today. I think it wasn't our best performance. We've battled back really well, I think twice in the game. Everton are a tough team to play against when you're chasing the game. But we did it well, we got 2 good goals, and I think with 10 minutes left on the clock, you think that we're going to go all out to try and win the game, and conceded twice just after scoring, and that's unforgivable really from ourselves.
I was going to say, what can you put that down to? And as a manager, that must be so annoying.
Well, we never really had a chance to build any sort of positive from the 2 goals, because as far as my memory takes me, they were almost straight away, so almost the first phase of defending we had to do. I think we lost a few duels for the second goal. And then for the third one, we've given the ball away. So we only have ourselves to blame for that. But it seemed too easy to score against us. And that's been a familiar thing in the last few weeks. So certainly we've got to focus on being better defensively, being tighter.
How are you finding your form at the moment? Because if we look across the board, good. It's just league, bit of a wobble.
Yeah, league's not been anywhere near good enough. And that's the type of dangers of European football, where you're going from competition to competition, and we haven't tried to take our focus off anything. It's always been the next game's the most important one, but our league form's definitely taken a hit, and today again we're really disappointed with the outcome. We should have been getting points today, and all we can do is try and put the wrongs right and try and work on the areas that we need to. I thought there was a lot of good in the performance mixed in there, but we need to get individual players playing back to closer to their best levels. We've got a few players that were below their levels today.
So match of the day, 10:30 BBC 1 to the Scottish Premiership. Hearts now 7 points clear at the top after they beat Aberdeen 1-0. Their goal scorer, Claudio Braga.
I feel like now we're getting to a point that we are maybe with a little bit more tension. We feel it from the stands a little bit. It's normal, and but at the same time we know we can do this, and we know that goal probably get the stands even more released of tension and behind us even more. They were amazing today. It was unbelievable. So it was really important to score the goal and to go 1-0 to the halftime, just so we can talk in the locker room also to know what we can do also second half. But yeah, the most important was the victory in the end.
9 games left. You're 7 points clear. Is the belief still? Is it increasing every week, or is it just trying to take it game by game?
Still trying to take it game by game. I feel I feel that's worked until now, so we can change it now. I know it's hard, of course, like you start looking a little bit, but we're still trying to keep our feet on the ground, trying to work hard and take it game by game. It's been working, so let's hope we keep working.
So Hearts won 1-0. Motherwell, by the way, won 2-0 this afternoon against Dundee United. It takes them to within a point of third place Celtic, who are at Rangers tomorrow, Chris Sutton.
Yeah, I mean, what a title race in Scotland. Could the top two fans north of the border be Hearts and Motherwell? I mean,
do you think they could?
Well, it's a possibility. But let's hear from fans north of the border. Motherwell, the best football team I've seen this season, north or south of the border. So great title race.
Tomorrow must not lose for both of them?
I must not lose. No, I think both teams have to win, but of course they can't. Mark,
thank you.
I know we know that.
I can see why you do the predictions with that.
Don't talk about predictions.
With that football insight. Have they gone badly today?
Yet again. I went for low-scoring games.
Oh, did you? Yeah, that was a mistake.
Absolutely disastrous. Want to hear from Burnley fans because, I mean, you said an apparent handball at the end, so you didn't think that was clear-cut.
I haven't, to be honest, the monitor I saw it on was very small. So I was honest at the time, I couldn't tell. But it took them 5 minutes. Ashley Williams on Match of the Day thinks it wasn't a handball, so I don't know.
Yes, how do Burnley fans feel about that? Scott Parker used the word heartbreaking. I think Burnley are down, but is Scott Parker the guy to get you back up? He's had a fair bit of flack on 606 from Burnley fans, but they showed great sort of spirit and determination to come back from 3 down. West Ham fans, Nuno Espirito Santo, they're really quite positive, upbeat, wasn't he? But you got beaten 5-2. Are you doomed, West Ham fans? Arne Slot has turned the corner and silencing his critics, Liverpool fans. I'm a little bit worried about my old club, Aston Villa. Looks like they could fall out of the top 4. Newcastle showing inconsistency. The Championship's absolutely fascinating, Mark. Norwich City, what a run they are on under Philip Clement. Can they make a late playoff push? Coventry, a late show, 8 points clear at the top. And Millwall are within a point of Middlesbrough now. Could they get the automatics? 08085 909 693.
You can take calls from people who don't support one of your former clubs.
Yeah, well, right? I didn't play for Millwall.
No,
Leicester,
you didn't.
Leicester
Would you have liked to have played for Millwall?
My brother played for Millwall, so he covered that sort of base in the family.
Is that how the family transfers work?
Yeah, we covered a lot of clubs. And West Brom, they are in a bit of bother. Want to hear from Baggies fans? They're managerless, I think, at this moment in time, and could well go down.
I do like your trails. You often sound quite surprised about who you might want to hear from.
I'm just surprised all the time.
Enjoy tomorrow.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I will do. May do.
Yes. Back to Ellen Road. John Murray, Paul Robinson.
Thank you, Mark. Manchester City players just gathering together, buoyed by the goal just before half-time. It was right at the end of the 2 minutes added on that Antoine Semenyo slid in to make it 1-0 to Manchester City. Neither manager has made a change at half-time. Referee Peter Banks plonks the ball on the centre spot. Leeds with Darlow in goal, Justin, Rodon and Strauch, the 3 central defenders, Bogle and Goodmanson, the wing backs, then Ampadu, Stack and Gruev with Aronson and Calvert-Lewin. There's the whistle. Manchester City with Shirky, who started the move really that led to the goal, kicks off the second half, plays it back to Donnarumma, so he's in goal for Manchester City. Then Mateus Nunes, Diaz, Gay and Ait Nouri, the back 4, Rodri with Bernardo Silva and Nico O'Reilly, and then Semenyo, who's been mainly on the right, Shirky, who's been pretty much everywhere, Paul, and then Marmouche, who's been mainly to the left. And if you weren't listening earlier, no Erling Haaland, who has been ruled out, picked up an injury of some kind in training 2 days ago. So Haaland not involved, but Manchester City ahead, Paul Robinson.
Yeah, they've not looked completely fluid in possession, have they, Manchester City, without that recognised number 9. Said before, they look good when they go down the channels and they work the ball intricately and then they get the ball across the 6-yard box. But between Semenyo, between O'Reilly, between Marmouche, the actual number 9 position has been rotated, and at the moment we're looking at it, it's Semenyo who's playing there.
However, it doesn't really matter, does it? As an offside flag goes up against Semenyo. Doesn't really matter, does it, for Manchester City? Come here, come to Elland Road with Leeds in, the form that they're in. just win.
It's always going to be a difficult place to go, isn't it? I mean, Pep Guardiola spoke this week in his pre-match press conferences about Ellen Road, about the nostalgia and about the atmosphere when he comes here. You know, teams know that they're going to be in for a game when they come here. Like we said earlier before, in the first half, Arsenal came here and they did a job, a very professional job. And Manchester City, at times when they have the possession, they look to be doing the same thing. But there have been times in this game where Leeds have caused them problems.
Leeds 0, Manchester City 1. This is 5 Live from the BBC. Listen as well to 5 Live on the BBC Sounds app. Nostalgia is very much the word in the West Stand here. That's where we're watching from, the gantry that hangs from the corrugated iron roof above our heads. Watching Goodmanson carrying the ball forward, and the referee has brought it back. Actually, he let play go, he gave them an advantage. Goodmanson, I think, was fouled again, but he's brought it back for the earlier foul when was it Rodri who just clipped him.
That's better from Leeds, better play down the wide areas. Goodmanson looking to get the ball into the box, Rodri and Núñez between them, giving Leeds a free kick right beneath us, opportunity to put the ball into the box.
Yeah, so Daniel Farke, I would love to see an almost immediate response. Stack, that's a good ball in, headed down and away by Matheus Núñez. Aronson then stabbed it forward, Gruev heads it back over the top, Aronson heads it on, but that's an easy one for big Donnarumma to come thundering out. You can almost hear as his feet hit the ground on the Elland Road grass as he came and collected that ball and then delivers it out. That's an excellent piece of play over there on the left hand side from Ait Nouri, and then Shirky helps it on down the left. O'Reilly's left footed cross, but that's behind everyone, whether in Leeds white or in Manchester City black, and it runs all the way over here to Matheus Núñez. Here is Bernardo Silva as Leeds defend the Norman Hunter stand away over to our right, the lower two-tier stand behind the goal that is being defended by Carl Darlow, all in purple, and Manchester City with the ball. Here's Bernardo Silva, he's got Matheus Núñez there with him. Núñez scoops it forward, it's headed down, and then Gruev, and then a slip by Diaz, and then a slip as well, gives the ball to Stack. Leeds could be away on the counter-attack here. Bogle forward to Stack. Black Manchester City shirts getting back. Oh, what a pass across the goal. Stack, Calvert-Lewin brings it down, and then an excellent challenge from Matheus Núñez. Just as Calvert-Lewin hit the shot, the outstretched right boot of Matheus Núñez deflected it immediately behind, and the Portuguese international is being roundly congratulated by his teammates for that.
That's a really good passage of play, good build-up from Leeds United. Swift, decisive ball from Anton Stack on the right-hand side. Long diagonal to the edge of the 18-yard box to Calvert-Lewin, who in turn takes it superbly on his chest. But then Matheus Núñez arrives just at the right time. Superb block, really good attacking play, but superb defending from Núñez.
Leeds defending the Norman Hunter stand, so therefore attacking towards the Revy stand. And here's the corner. Oh, that's poor from Stack. That's actually the worst ball that he's put in yet from a set piece. And easily headed away by Matheus Núñez. Out for a throw-in, just down in front of us here, just leaning over the front of the stand, the gantry, looking down at all of those heads, many of them wrapped in Leeds United woolly hats. And we're watching Ampadu leaning right up against the hoarding, and then in goes the long throw into the Manchester City box. Semenyo heads it away, a couple of shouts from the crowd. Goodmanson goes for goal on the volley that sat up for him, but in the end, by the time it flew over the crossbar, it was probably, 6 yards over the top.
Yeah, it was a difficult one for Goodmanson. The ball bounced to him at the edge of the 18-yard box, and it wouldn't come down quickly enough. The encroaching Manchester City players were getting nearer and nearer. Probably struck the ball too early as it was rising, got up and underneath it harmlessly over the crossbar.
And so it is a goal kick. I mentioned the IFAB meeting earlier today in Cardiff. They're talking about they've confirmed a law change which would see a 5-second referee countdown for goal kicks. So as we've got two balls on the pitch at the moment, even though play is continuing, Bernardo Silva, ball's been kicked off. The spare ball's been kicked off the pitch by Diaz.
Do you know what? I don't mind that from the referee. The referee's acknowledged that there's two balls on the pitch. He told one of the lads, kick it off, let's get on with it. You know, there was no stoppage in play. The Leeds fans behind the goal clearly waited till Manchester City were on the attack, threw the ball back on the pitch. The referee went, kick it off, lads, let's get on with it.
Yeah, and that's what Diaz did. Mark Gay now is City trying to play the ball away from the back. City leading 1-0, and then it's out of play off stack for a throw-in to Manchester City. So so we will have, in the manner of the goalkeeper now being allowed a count of 8, so we'll have a situation where for throw-ins and goal kicks the referee will give them a count of 5, and if they don't do it by then, for a goal kick it would be a corner.
Well, the ball people are going to have to be quick around the edges of the pitch, aren't they? The ball's not always quick at coming back from the stands or wherever. But listen, I don't mind anything that speeds the game up and prevents the time wasting. We see it so many times, don't we? The goalkeeper going down. I mean, that's nothing new. I did that a long time ago. Managers would tell you to do that in certain situations, but actually they're looking to increase the pace of the game so we don't lose those 90 minutes that a lot of the ball spends out of play.
Yeah, read all about that on the BBC Sport website on the football pages. Dale Johnson's article from the IFAB meeting. Here's Shirky carrying the ball forward for Manchester City, giving it out to Ait Nouri on the left-hand side, and then Shirky again. It's a delightful pass. It was the pass of the match so far from Shirky through for Ait Nouri that led to the Semenyo goal. Here they come again, City, and Matheus Nunes with the ball into the near post. Marmoush arriving up against Strout there, but he could only, as the ball bounced up for him, could only shoot wide of the near post.
They get a lot of space in those wide areas, Manchester City, when they move the ball in that manner. Matheus Nunes, it is that time on the right hand side of the 18-yard box when they're out of possession. Leeds United, even though they're a back 5 out of possession, they get very, very narrow, try and defend the width of the 18-yard box, and the spaces are down the sides.
I only ever thought about speeding the game up, and this is all going to come in for the World Cup. Many of the matches being played in absolutely sweltering conditions, and the lawmakers say we want to speed up the pace of the game. That's going to be another test for the players.
Well, we'll speed up the pace of the game, but then we'll also put drinks breaks in and slow the game down.
That's the yin and yang. Leeds 0, Manchester City 1. So with this scoreline, Manchester City would go to 59 points. Arsenal currently have 61. There's a long way to go. And this Leeds United team, remember how they came back against Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium at the end of November. Matheus Nunes playing the ball forward. Marmoush beaten by Gruev, and Ampadu's actually going to play it all the way back to the right to goalkeeper Darlow. Rodon receives it, Welsh international central defender. The big playoff match coming up next month. Gruev passing it forward to Calvert-Lewin, who was so clearly offside. Shock of shocks, the flag went up early, and it's a free kick to Manchester City.
Yeah, it's the high line again from Manchester City. It's noticeably higher than they normally play. They're quite confident that Dominic Calvert-Lewin can't outpace Mark Guéhi. Got himself well offside there, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. As you say, the assistant on the far side put his flag up very early.
1-0 to Manchester City. And the goal, for those who weren't listening, Paul, it was brilliantly worked, doesn't it? And I imagine Shirky, who I mentioned with that initial pass, he won't get an assist for that, will he?
Well, you'd get an assist of the assist, is it? Is that what that's the stats now? Yeah, we'll have to ask Dave. I'm sure there is some kind of an assist of an assist.
Well, I heard Dave earlier talking about fast breaks, and I was wondering to myself, when does a break become a fast break? What is that? What is the point? As the ball's played to Semenyo.
What velocity does a fast break consist of? Yeah,
they've reached the fast break threshold. Throw in for Leeds. Take it back into their own half, and then Strouk back to Darlow, who passes it out to James Justin. Manchester City fans in good voice. I was told today that Manchester City very quickly sold out their allocation for the Carabao Cup final, incidentally, which, and you would think rightly so, but the City fans, as we know, I think it's something like, I think this will be their 22nd visit to Wembley under Pep Guardiola, but sold out the allocation, and I think that underlines what a big occasion that is going to be.
Well, I think it is. I think you forget football fans up and down the country what they invest in their team, and the football fans come and they have their opinion, and actually what they invest and what they spend during a season, and to follow a successful team, I mean, that's even more expensive.
Yeah, and with the kickoff times as they are, it's 1-0 to Manchester City, and today is a very good example, incidentally. Bournemouth-Sunderland at 12 o'clock today, and this match, relatively local affair, being played at 5:30 on a Saturday. Here's Shirky, then to Rodri. Sunderland fans probably listening to us, still on the way back. Ball pass to Matheus Nunes, he's going to do well to keep that in. Slides, no, he couldn't get there, and it's out of play. Throw into Leeds halfway inside their own half. So still as it was at half-time, City leading through that Marmouche, through that Semenyo goal, which if you go back into the latter period of time at Bournemouth for him, that makes it 8 goals in his last 13 Premier League appearances. £64 million, but he's settled extremely well here as another free kick to lead. Shirky was trying to get the ball back from between the legs of Gruev, and I think might have stepped on him as he was trying to get the ball out of there.
Do you know what, John? I think you talk about the Manchester City signings, Semenyo and Mark Gay. I think that's been a big thing for Manchester City in the form that they've been in. You know, the 2 signings that they've made, the 2 big signings that have come into the side in January, they've not taken any time whatsoever to settle into this team. They've made an immediate impact.
Yeah, super signings. I don't know, people talk about it, and of course Manchester City, the verdict is coming at some point on the 100 plus charges of breaking the financial rules of the Premier League that they deny, but we don't know when that will be, and until that point it is business as usual. I know Richard Masters from the Premier League said this week that he couldn't shed any further light, wasn't able to do that, so we'll just have to wait on. Here's Marmouche bringing the ball down, but near the halfway line, Strout passing it forward, very congested centrally. Aronson's onto this though as he attacks into the Manchester City defensive third. Diaz does very well, 2 challenges, second one against Gudmundsson, and then Rodri, quick thinking, just volleys it away into the space on the far side. Ait Nouri gets it down, Ait Nouri then away from Stack, and Rodri again, who is match by match. Rodri, the great man, the Ballon d'Or winner of 2024, just beginning to look more like himself.
Do you know what, John? I thought that earlier. I think he looks fitter, I think he looks sharper, and I think he's been such an integral part of Manchester City for so long now. He's certainly getting back towards his best.
Yeah, and for him, this is just his 16th start of this season, having missed all of that time. Well, the Leeds fans in the Revie stand to our left are trying to do their bit to lift the team. They know that Leeds United need them here. Manchester City 1-0 up, dominating possession. In though Gruev goes. Now as well Ampadu. Marmouche comes out. Justin puts in a really good challenge. Gruev forward of the centre circle, moves away from Rodri, still going the Bulgarian, but that pass was a little short. City win it back with Shirky. Shirky's early pass, Semenyo tries to get there, but Strauk and Rodon, just about between them, are able to do a job either side of the goal scorer, Semenyo. And now Gudmundsson wins quite a cheap free kick against Semenyo. Free kick to Leeds, with Manchester City winning 1-0 and just over half an hour to go. Paul Robinson.
That's a good piece of defending that by Joe Rodon, because his central defensive partner Pascal Struijk, he'd been done. Semenyo got the wrong side of him, got goal side of him, but Joe Rodon made a really good recovery run, put in a challenge, and it looks like it's at a cost because he's down on his haunches holding his hamstring.
He is. This could be trouble for Rodon. They'll just have to hope that it's maybe a little bit of cramp and the activity on the Leeds bench. Well, now they've got central defenders there, haven't they? Leeds with Biol and Bornau, who have both been sent out to warm up. I think he's going to be all right. I think he just signalled, didn't he? Although, are they going to make a change?
Yeah, one's been called back. One of his technical staff shouting to the substitutes. I think he's just put his fingers up to suggest the number. Looks like Okafor to me that's coming back. Is it Okafor?
No, he's not.
Yeah,
Okafor's not. Yeah, Okafor's not yet back in the picture. Free kick to Manchester City in the centre circle. Pep Guardiola stalking around. He's wearing those sort of light brown suede shoes of his today. Black hooded top. You wouldn't know his team were winning 1-0, would you? Looking down on him, paces from left to right, hands in his pockets, right to left.
It's like a caged animal, isn't he, in that technical area? Yeah. Just stalking the corners of that technical area.
Rodri has the ball in the centre circle. To Gay. Leeds fans start twirling their scarves around their heads as well. Forward from Diaz. Diaz's pass over the top, chased by Strauk, who is going to just touch it back to Kaldala, who passes it out to Gudmundsson, who had to get there, but he did. Then forward, Aronson receives it, Diaz has come a long way into the opposition half. Aronson goes down, but then back up again. Chip forward to Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin with Gay on the halfway line. Final touch was off, says the referee. Calvert-Lewin. It's a throw-in to Manchester City, who go back into their own half. Leeds 0, Manchester City 1. If you have just switched on, the lines are open for 606. It's Aaron Paul with Chris Sutton tonight. So 08 085 909 693 to book your call, and that number is free to call from mobiles and landlines. You can text 85058 at your standard message rate as Diaz goes through a challenge on the halfway line, passes it forward now to Marmoush. Marmoush edge of the box, goes for the shot, it's deflected back out of the penalty area, and Diaz shoots goalwards. Marmoush sliding in, couldn't get the ball on target. It was a shot from Diaz, but it almost ended up being a pass for Marmoush, but he couldn't get it on target. Goal kick.
It was almost a great assist, wasn't it, from Ruben Diaz on the angle, 20 yards out. He looks to strike the ball, kind of doesn't get any type of connection. It ends up going harmlessly, slowly in behind the Leeds United defence. Marmoush pops up on the far post, just can't quite get there, just out of his reach. That was a good chance, actually.
You're right, Paul. It's going to be Mecha coming on. Lucas Mecha against his old club, where he was a youngster at Manchester City, and so it would appear that Rodon is okay. And once we get another stoppage, he'll be onto the field. Leeds 0, Manchester City 1. It's a choice of listening at the moment. The Super League match between Warrington and Wakefield is on Sports Extra. Last I heard in that match, it was Warrington 14, Wakefield 2. And also Catalan Dragons against St Helens is on Sports Extra 2. And St Helens were 6-0 up, last I heard, on Catalans. 1-0 here in the Premier League. Antoine Semenyo's goal. City, Manchester City, in the all-black kit with the white numbers and names on the back. Mateus Nunes in field. Mateus Nunes gets it back. Then back to Rodri. It's been good control from Manchester City. Rodri at the heart of this. Shirky standing 6 yards to his right. And then all the way back to Diaz and Gay, the central defenders. Bernardo Silva comes back almost into the right back position. Shirky once more. Back to Mark Gay, and then Nico O'Reilly says to Mark Gay, come on, give it to me. Last Saturday night, remember O'Reilly scoring those 2 goals against Newcastle. 6 goals for the season, O'Reilly. I don't think there's any doubt he'll be in the England squad when Thomas Tuchel names it in a couple of weeks' time for the friendlies that England have against Uruguay and Japan. You'll hear both of those matches on 5 Live. Here is Shirky. Shirky again in the centre circle. Manchester City, who are at home to Nottingham Forest on Wednesday night. Big game on Tuesday for Leeds. Paul, you're going to be here. Home against Sunderland. Yeah, those Sunderland supporters that are making their way back up north, they may as well stay over, aren't they? It's only Tuesday, quick turnaround, but they've had a fantastic season, haven't they, Sunderland? The way that they've approached the Premier League. They've come in and got some great results, and they're only 1 or 2 wins away from actually cementing their future as a Premier League club. It's been a great story up at Sunderland. I think they've been excellent this season. Leeds win a free kick. Stack was fouled on that halfway line. Meanwhile, that is O'Reilly, isn't it, who's stayed down over there. Here's the change for Leeds, and it is Brendan Aronson who is being withdrawn. Claps his gloves hands together as he comes off the field, and it is Lucas Mecha, as I say, the former Manchester City youngster who did score against City when Donnarumma saved his penalty at the Etihad Stadium. Back to him, put it into the net. That made it 2-2 before Foden eventually scored the late winner. So both Mecha and Calvert-Lewin on the field. And immediately Mecha goes and stands next to Calvert-Lewin. It's a signal that they're going to play 2 at the top. That's one thing that Daniel Farke has been criticised for, his in-game management at times. Since that Manchester City game and the change in formation, he's been a lot more proactive with his changes. He realises the situation of the game at the moment, and that's a really good, positive attacking change. And Mecha with 2 goals in his last 3 appearances as well. Saw him score at St Andrews against Birmingham in the FA Cup a couple of weeks ago. Next weekend they'll be at home to Norwich in the FA Cup. 3rd consecutive round where Leeds have drawn championship opposition. See, Savinho is being talked to by Pep Guardiola. It looks as though he's going to be the first change that Guardiola is going to make. 1-0 City lead, narrowing the gap with Arsenal with this scoreline. Leeds on the back foot again. Mateus Nunes, yes, the 4th official. is just preparing the board. Oliver Langford down there on the side of the pitch. So Savinho is going to be onto the field very shortly, just swigging from a water bottle. Manchester City still with the ball. Leeds can't really get any momentum going. I suppose at the moment, with the pattern of the game that it is, Leeds hoping that this doesn't get any worse for them, and then maybe get into that last 15 minutes or so and really try and give it a go. And as Paul Robinson said, interesting move to have Metcher and Calvert-Lewin on the field together. But City coming forward. Bernardo Silva gives it to Shirky. Shirky, who is here on the right wing, a little flick from him. He loves a flick. Shirky on his left foot now. That's a nice pass as well. Mateus Nunes pulls it back to the edge of the area. Aït-Nouri curls one right-footed, but it didn't have enough curl on it. Wide of the top right corner as he looked at it from the edge of the D. Goal kick, 1-0 Manchester City lead.
They've worked that really well again, Manchester City, to get in a dangerous area down this right-hand side. Shirky cuts inside and the ball ends up with Mateus Nunes. Once again, cuts the ball back to the edge of the 18-yard box. There's nobody there. He cuts in Aït-Nouri on his right foot, on his unfavoured right foot. Doesn't really make the connection that he wants, and it goes harmlessly wide.
Marmoush coming off, Paul. It's not really happened for him here.
No, he's been very quiet, hasn't he? He's had a very, very quiet afternoon. This shows what Manchester City side looks like without Erling Haaland, without that figurehead as an out-and-out number 9. They've been very fluid, they've been very fluent in the movement up there, but actually there's been no main striker to occupy those three central defenders.
So Savinho, who has been out with a thigh injury for 3 months, he is onto the field, and he has, where has he gone?
He's gone as the number 9. He's playing up top at the moment, in the middle.
So 1-0 to Manchester City. Marmoush is off and Savinho is on. Lines open for 606. Aaron Paul and Chris Sutton. 08 085 909 693. Throw-in is given to Manchester City on the far side, and Nico O'Reilly has just sat down over there as well, just a few yards away from the side of the pitch, so we're going to have a stoppage here as well.
Yeah, he's just gone back to his dugout, Pep Guardiola. Still at the edge of his technical area, hands in his pockets, just wandered back to talk to his assistant and his coaching staff. If there is to be a change here, all the Manchester City substitutes are down beneath us to the left-hand side.
Yeah, Pep Guardiola is urgently calling for somebody.
Reinders, I think it is.
Reinders, yeah, to race towards the halfway line. Latest scores in the Super League: Warrington 20, Wakefield 10, Wakefield Trinity. That's on BBC 2, but it is also right now on Sports Extra. And still Catalan 0, St Helens 6 in the match. It's on Sports Extra 2. So O'Reilly, this is a setback for Manchester City, whose injury list at the moment is not long. Doku is on the bench today as he comes back, so he's another one back. Ake as well coming back, but lost Haaland. Now it would appear losing O'Reilly, who is able to walk off the field on the far side, but they do make the change. So O'Reilly off, and Tijani Reinders coming on to replace him.
Yeah, very much like for like. Probably a change that Pep Guardiola didn't want to make, and we hope that that's not too much of a serious injury to Nico O'Reilly. Kept his cards close to his chest, didn't he, before the game, about Erling Haaland's injury, or the length of time, or what type of injury it was. The last thing that Manchester City need this stage of the season, when they're going to try and push towards the end, is to miss key players, and Nico O'Reilly's certainly been that 2 in 2 games for him.
Yes, well, we can only take Pep Guardiola at his word as to what he said about Erling Haaland, that it's not too serious, but sometimes he can be quite vague about the time frame with injuries. Still only 1-0. Shirky, though, good persistence, carries it to the edge of the box, leads players all around him, and eventually the challenge comes in and it blocks it away back towards the halfway line. Manchester City with Bernardo Silva turns it forward to Mateus Nunes, who, under pressure again from 2 Leeds players, is able to pick out Bernardo Silva. And Bernardo Silva, the evergreen Bernardo Silva, 31 years old. This is 444th appearance. Plays it forward. It's deflected to Semenyo, who hits a shot which deflects well wide of the goal and behind, but it's a corner. And Semenyo there, half a chance, probably more than half a chance. Corner.
It's a good chance. It really is a good chance. Manchester City work the ball well. Once again, it comes into Semenyo, gets in between two Leeds United defenders. He gets the shot off on his left foot. I'm not so sure it would have troubled Karl Darlow because it's not a great connection. He kind of bounces it into the floor, but it hits Pascal Struijk and goes wide of the right-hand post. Gives Manchester City a corner, but that was a good opportunity.
City in no hurry to take this. Going back to our earlier conversation, Shirky breaks into half a trot out there and is ready now with the ball in the quadrant. Manchester City knowing that if they could get a second goal here, make it 2-0, that would probably be enough for the points. Shirky into the near post, headed by Rodri, then headed by Gay. I'm not sure whether that might have struck the outside of the post. Darlow dived for it, back in from Matheus Nunes. It's gone all the way over to Shirky on the left hand side. Shirky now on his right foot, still going, low shot, that's blocked inside the penalty area, comes out Bernardo Silva, wanted Rodri to leave it, Rodri's taken it on, he shoots, and that's deflected wide, well away from goal actually by Gruev and out for a throw.
If he saved that, Karl Darlow, it really is a super save. Header in the middle of the 6-yard box, and Marc Guéhi, it's a deflection off the corner, gets to Marc Guéhi. Karl Darlow dives full length to his left hand side, the ball's almost behind him, puts a big left paw on it and he claws it out from almost behind the post. That's a super save from the Wales international.
Yeah, excellent save, right in front of the post. I think it was going in.
I was absolutely going in.
Yeah,
he's clawed it from behind him. It was a really good save.
Had to make the save, and that's the best chance really of the second half. Marc Guéhi with the header. Still Leeds 0, Manchester City 1. BBC Radio 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app. And Manchester City so close to the 2-0 lead, and the referee bringing play back because Shirky was caught there. The ball had gone, but Shirky has rolled off the pitch. But the free kick to be given to Manchester City on the right. What have we got left? Just less than 20 minutes to play.
Yeah, it's an interesting point of the game now because Manchester City are pushing forward, but they don't want to push forward too much and expose themselves and leave the gaps for Leeds United.
A couple more attacking substitutions for Leeds, Paul, with James and Gnonto about to come on with the pace that they have.
It's a good boost for Daniel Farke to have Dan James back in the side, and that's a real attacking threat that's coming on now. It's real pace.
Yeah, James, who's missed a lot of this season. Daniel Farke is leaning over in between the two of them in that big hooded jacket, giving them instructions. Free kick, Shirky takes it from out on the right wing for City, headed away by Calvert-Lewin with his long straggly hair. City move forward again. Bernardo Silva, lines open for 606 08 085 909 693 to join in from round about 7:30 tonight. Match of the day on BBC One this evening, anytime on the iPlayer, and the goals and clips, plenty of them today, will be available from 8 o'clock on the various BBC platforms for you to watch, but everything will be wrapped up with all of the analysis on Match of the Day tonight.
It's going to be a cracker, that, isn't it? Match of the Day. Work out that running order with the amount of goals that we've had today.
A goal fest, isn't it? As the ball is hit forward over the top of Calvert-Lewin. Gay, and then City with Reinders going back into their own half and all the way back to goalkeeper Donnarumma, who is passing the ball out. Matheus Nunes can't keep it in. Passed it right towards us here. Couldn't keep it in. Throwing to Leeds United. And Daniel Farke is going to make these changes now. So Gruev coming off from the midfield. Sure, this was all part of the plan, were they, in this situation? Only one goal in the match. 15 minutes to play. Off comes that defensive-minded midfielder Gruev. Gnonto coming on, and Bogle off as well.
Very much an attacking change from Daniel Farke now, entering the last 15 minutes of the game.
So back to a back four?
You would suspect so. Dan James will certainly occupy the right-hand side. He's got pace down that right-hand side. He'll always be a threat.
Long throw though, immediately. So the two changes. Metcher already on the field as well. Earlier, Leeds 0, Manchester City 1. Ampadu with a long throw, headed up in the air by Semenyo. The whistle's gone. Donnarumma comes and catches. Referee Banks spotted a push in there, I think, as much as it's possible to tell from set pieces. very much a talking point, isn't it, at the moment?
Well,
corners, set piece, throw-ins.
We did it last night on the show with Darren Fletcher. We talked about the Manchester United Everton game earlier on in the week and what almost a rugby scrum it's become. And I think the only way that you are going to stop that from set plays is start giving penalties. You go one Saturday and you start awarding penalties, believe me, it soon stops.
Here is Leeds, ball won back by Goodmanson. Gnonto has given it away. First contribution, the Italian international passed it to Reinders, and Manchester City are coming forward. He's beaten two men, still going Reinders, and then Gnonto coming and tackling back has brought him down. Wasn't much in that challenge, but enough for a free kick, and City have managed to relieve that little bit of pressure that Leeds had on them.
Pep Guardiola's in the ear of the fourth official down beneath as he wanted a free kick earlier on in the play.
So City take a quick free kick, actually, leading by 1-0. Would move again to within 2 points of the leaders Arsenal. Rodri, there's so much space for Ait Nouri out there on the left, and Rodri has picked him out in the full back position. Ait Nouri, eventually James gets there. Still Ait Nouri, back to the edge of the box. Bernardo Silva in. And a header away by Straug for Leeds United. And then back into the centre circle. Well, I did wonder who was going to play on the right side of the Leeds defence. It is James Justin, who then collides with Gay as he brought forward, and that's given as a free kick. I think that's the right decision, actually. The two of them came together, but Justin was a little late on Gay, and it's a free kick to Manchester City.
It's unpopular, but it's right. The Ellen Road crowd hold on to everything that they can at the moment. It was a tackle by James Justin. He was late. Mark Gay got there first. Manchester City at the moment, they seem to be managing the game really well, but at 1-0 nothing's obviously secure at this stage of the game, but you do feel that they haven't been under any real threat from the Leeds United attack.
And Gay and James Justin taking a little while. James Justin is limping rather as he walks away from this. The Leeds need to get on with it. With 12 minutes to play, Leeds United 0, Manchester City 1. Tomorrow, 5 Live, the place to hear. Rangers Celtic, Manchester United Crystal Palace, and Arsenal Chelsea. Free kick taken by Manchester City. Reinders now near the edge of the penalty area. Bernardo Silva is able to squirrel it away out to the right hand side, and then infield to Shirky. Shirky's pass for Reinders, out comes Darlow, and is down well and able to claim the ball near the corner of the 6-yard box. That save that he made from Gay, keeping it to 1-0, so important in the context of the match, and the prospects of Leeds maybe being able to get something out of this. Arsenal will hope on from a distance as well that they're able to do that. Their relegation rivals Nottingham Forest playing at Brighton tomorrow, 2 o'clock kickoff. Likewise Fulham Tottenham, they're on Sports Extra and Sports Extra 2 on your BBC Sounds app tomorrow afternoon. All the news on 5 Live. Ball curled forward, Calvert-Lewin, Gay's able to head it away though. Stack sticks out a leg, and it's deflected out of play for a throw-in to Leeds, halfway inside the Manchester City half. Ironic cheers from the lower rows of the Jack Charlton stand. So it's long throw time again, Paul.
They need to find that tempo that they had in the first half at times, Leeds. They've not really attacked Manchester City, not put them under pressure in the right areas like they did in the first half. Manchester City at the moment, they look comfortable. That tempo, the atmosphere, it all needs to rise if Leeds are to get anything.
But it's only 1-0. Ampadu with the long throw into the near post, flicked on, only half cleared by Diaz, still inside the penalty area. Straug heads it forward, Diaz gets up and he's able to clear the box with his header. However, Leeds back in possession. Goodmanson tried to get past the challenge of Bernardo Silva. Gnonto gets it back from Stack, and now Goodmanson's ball across, and Diaz is able to stretch out his right leg and clear it. It's won back from Shirky. Cross from Ampadu into the penalty area. Calvert-Lewin very congested. Gnonto takes it on, he pulls it back, pinball stuff, and then in the end it's out of play and behind off Rodri for another throw to Leeds.
Oh, there you go. Listen to the crowd, listen to the noise in the background. That's what they want to see. Leeds United pressing high, winning the ball back. Ball goes into the box, Manchester City clear it. Leeds have ringed the 18-yard box, immediately win back possession and keep the pressure on Manchester City.
Got a towel down there as well, straight out of the Leeds United shop. Ampadu takes the throw. Donnarumma comes one arm raised, got one glove to it just to flap it away. It's almost like a comedy arm, that, wasn't it?
That was very unorthodox, wasn't it?
Wasn't it? One of those from the cricket.
It was just, I mean, we know how big Donnarumma is. He just came into a great big pile of bodies there with a great big arm and hand and just swatted it away.
Ball headed on through the middle, Calvert-Lewin. That scenario that I described to you earlier is actually happening, isn't it? It's still 1-0. We're into the last 10 minutes of the match now, and you're just getting that feeling that Leeds might be able to build a bit of something.
He won't be disappointed with this, Daniel Farke. This will be what he said at half-time. He said, listen, we don't concede again, we stay in the game as long as we can, and chances will come. But also Manchester City have got that threat on the counter-attack, but at the moment now you'd expect Leeds to be pushing people forward.
They win a free kick, Leeds, in the central third. Daniel Farke in that trademark pose of his, with his arms tightly folded together, that brown hair of his held back, and his chin buried in the neck of his coat. Leeds with Gudmundsson winning a throw-in off Semenyo. 8 minutes to play. Leeds United 0, Manchester City 1. So we're about, 8 minutes plus added time, plus wrap things up away from 6:06 with Aaron Paul and Chris Sutton tonight. 08 085 909 693. Maybe if you are one of those Sunderland fans who are travelling back from Bournemouth. I know Chris wanted to hear from Leeds, Norwich City supporters. Shirky for Manchester City. Shirky then all the way back to Diaz forward, and that all bounces awkwardly for Justin, who is able to head it back to Rodon, who passed it back to Darlow, who cleared. As Justin loses out in the challenge to Reinders. Rodri just allows the ball, just that extra time for the extra class of Rodri there, not hurried. The ball just bounced to him and he placed the pass out to the left hand side where he wanted it. But now more hustle and bustle from Shirky. Wasn't able to thread the ball through to Semenyo just outside the Leeds penalty area. Now long and forward from Ampadu. This is one for Dan James to chase, shoulder to shoulder with Gay, who wins the race and is able to get to the ball first and turn it up the line, keep it in play to Ait Nouri. Well defended again from Mark Gay. Gay then infield to Reinders. Semenyo though, he loses possession. Now here's Gnonto on the other side, the left wing, ball into the area, it's deflected and a stretch for it by Mecha. Both Diaz and Mecha are appealing. The referee thinks about it and gives the corner, and City are incensed. Rodri runs to the referee as if to say, what on earth are you thinking of?
Disappointed Manchester City. That was given as a corner. It was almost a double deflection, very difficult to tell who it came off. Those new rules you're talking about, they're not in yet, are they? No. VAR might have looked at that one.
Exactly. Corner then from the left, Stack to take it. There's wrestling going on. Ampadu, Bernardo Silva goes down. Referee Banks is pointing out here Donnarumma. Gnonto, little Willie Gnonto goes to Donnarumma, puts his hand on Donnarumma's backside. Donnarumma brushes him off quite comically, and the referee is showing a yellow card, I think, to Donnarumma for exactly that. Well, that's a cheap yellow card for Donnarumma, but it's another corner for Leeds. Grappling continues. Big moment this, 1-0 Manchester City. Stack with a corner, in it goes, Donnarumma comes, but it's headed away effectively and well by Rodri, who is able to get up on the edge of the 6-yard box. Got 5 minutes to play. Another double change for Leeds is coming. Biol is coming on, one of the central defenders. Gnonto playing the ball in field, and then forward it goes, but challenge came in on Gudmundsson. It bounces to Mecha. Mecha just keeps his feet under the challenge. To his left, to Calvert-Lewin, near the left corner of the box, inside the penalty area. Calvert-Lewin square, Ampadu on his right foot shoots, but didn't catch it as he wanted to. Is blocked on the edge of the area anyway. James though, the ball stays in play. James back to Ampadu. Here's the cross into the Manchester City box. Calvert-Lewin allows it to bounce to Gnonto. Gnonto back across. Calvert-Lewin jumps for it. Was thinking about the overhead kick. Leeds players are suggesting that he might have been fouled. I'm not so sure about that. Still Leeds come again. Gudmundsson now on the left hand side. The ball is worked across, but James Justin was the player who crossed it, but it was cleared away by Manchester City. Then it bounces out, still on the edge of the penalty area. Mecha to James. The pressure increasing from Leeds United on City. James, ball across, a good one too. And it was Mark Gay who fell on it to block it behind for a corner.
Yeah, listen at that noise, listen at the tempo inside Ellen Road at the moment. Leeds are turning up the volume with the pressure, the possession that they're trying to have, putting balls into the box. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's claiming a handball there. It looked like a good piece of defending between Núñez and Ruben Diaz. Ball into the box. Calvert-Lewin tried the spectacular, tried the overhead kick, but Ruben Diaz stood firm.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything wrong with that, was that? He's going to make the changes now, before they have the corner. James Justin coming off, so Biol is coming on, but Pirro as well. And so James Justin off, with Jakob Biol coming on. And it is also Joe Rodon. So two defenders off. Biol is on, and he'll be a presence in the penalty area here. And Nathan Ake is also going to come on for Manchester City, and I think they are going to make that change now as well. Shirky is the player who is being withdrawn, involved in the only goal that we've seen here. Shirky being booed off by the Leeds players, cheered off by the Manchester City fans, and Nathan Ake coming on.
Yeah, well, there's the difference in mentality between the two managers there. Pep Guardiola, clock ticks towards 90 minutes, 87 on the clock. He wants to shut up shop. It's not been pretty, it's not been vintage Manchester City, but at the moment it's 3 points, and at the moment that's all that matters to them.
Yeah, it is your classic hard-fought 1-0 win in the title race. But it's a corner, it's not over yet. 2.5 minutes to go. Stack with a corner from the right footed, and it's headed down and wide. Biol got his head to it. First touch of the match, and he couldn't direct it down into the bottom left corner, wide of the post instead.
Wouldn't that been a special first touch? It's a really good delivery from the set play. We wax lyrical about set plays, about movement, about the intricacy of movement in the box, but it's all about the delivery. Simple ball, that outswinging edge of the 6-yard box. Biol with his first touch of the ball heads it just wide of the post.
Super League latest: Warrington 22, Wakefield Trinity 16, and Catalan nil, St Helens 6 is still the latest score. Commentary on those matches on Sports Extra and Sports Extra 2 right now via your BBC Sounds app. Leeds nil, Manchester City 1. Late in the evening, round about midnight on Sports Extra, you'll be able to hear Hull KR against Leeds, and as they announced the attendance, 36,838. Let me just underline that every single one of the Premier League matches on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday night, you'll be able to hear with us on 5 Live or via the various platforms on the BBC Sounds app. So that's the Premier League in midweek, then FA Cup commentaries next weekend, when I'm very much looking forward to a visit to Wrexham. The Welsh League Cup final.
You've done the rounds, you, in the FA Cup this year, haven't you? You had some absolute crackers. The Macclesfield one we had was great.
Yes, that was.
Guess where I'm going? Right here. right next to you.
Elland Road.
The Daniel Farker derby.
Yes, against Norwich City. Next Sunday afternoon, that is, isn't it? What have we got left? We're in the 90th minute now. And ball's out of play for a throw into Manchester City. Barry Town, by the way, are winning that Welsh League Cup final 2-0 against TNS late in the match, as ball is flicked on for Leeds, and Mecha looking to cross it, comes off Nathan Ake. It's out of play for a throw, and Pep Guardiola is looking exasperated.
He was on the pitch, John. He was actually on the pitch. He's trying to get a message onto his defenders. He wants them out. He wants them clear in the 18-yard box. They're getting no kind of ball retention. They can't keep possession. It's all Leeds at the moment.
Pirro on the field now as well, so he's got Pirro, Mecha and Calvert-Lewin all out there. Pirro, who's still not scored this season, now would be a good time. In comes the throw, ball headed up in the air, volleyed away on the left foot for Manchester City by Reinders, and we'll have 6 minutes of added time. That's the reaction from Elland Road. 6:06 following shortly. 08, 085 909 693, but still possibly late drama to come here at Elland Road. Arsenal watching on closely. Ball comes in from the right from James, but he's got that all wrong. Overhits it, flies away over the top of the crossbar behind for a goal kick. Groans, Leeds groans all round
Yeah, it does look like it's going to be an onslaught now from Leeds United. Manchester City sitting in an uncharacteristic defensive shape, allowing Leeds possession. They're going to put bodies into the box, long balls forward. Pep Guardiola down beneath us. He's nowhere near his technical area. He's almost on the pitch. The fourth official's doing everything he can. He's really not happy, the Manchester City manager.
Is the fourth official doing all he can?
Well, as much as he can talk to Pep, yeah.
He's actually just moved to within a couple of yards of him, and that's it.
I think he's getting ignored, John, in all honesty.
Yeah. Stroke hits it forward, comes back at the Leeds United defence. Darlow comes out. Darlow on his right foot has only been able to plant it out of play on the halfway line. This will, for Leeds, be only their third defeat in the last 17 matches. So the little run that they've been on will be coming to an end. They will still be 6 points above West Ham and the relegation zone after their defeat earlier, as Manchester City taking as long as they possibly can over this throw. Leeds 0, Manchester City 1 in added time. Forward it goes for Leeds. Diaz heads it back over there into the Leeds half. They've got the ball on the ground now as Goodmanson is clearly impeded by Savinho. It's been virtually his only contribution to the match so far since he came on, Savinho, and he's been booked for it as well. And I'm not surprised. Free kick Leeds.
He hasn't touched the ball. He's been very, very ineffective. He's come on as a number 9, but Manchester City, the formation that they've got, it's very much a defensive formation.
In the Rugby Union, Dragons 10, Benetton 15, Munster 21, Zebra 7. Latest scores, United Rugby Championship. Free kick for Leeds, long from Darlow, headed away. James now with it on the right hand side. James up against Ait Nouri, then on his left foot, in comes the ball, well headed away by Diaz. Excellent defensive header by the Portuguese international. Goodmanson, good play from him, only half cleared by Mateus Nunes, and then Rodri goes down. There was contact from Goodmanson. Clever. Rodri went down, won the free kick.
He's clever. He's very clever, Rodri. Very, very experienced. He knows that his team are under pressure. He knows that we're ticking well into injury time. Leeds on the attack, putting pressure. Goodmanson does superbly well, wins the ball back, gets into the 18-yard box. Rodri's extremely clever. He puts himself in between player and ball. As soon as he feels any type of contact, goes over. 10 times out of 10 you get a free kick, and he's done that.
Rodri being loudly and roundly booed by the Leeds United supporters on the other side of the hoardings, and he doesn't care one bit. He gets up, walks away, head down. That was important. Here he is again, Rodri, probably a contender for the man of the match today.
Been quietly effective, John, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's gone about his business in the usual Rodri fashion.
Ball played forward in the Manchester City right back area. We're in the 4th minute of added time. 6 were indicated, so a minimum, as they always say, of 6 minutes of added time. Stack playing it back. There's still a chance for Leeds United to try and find the equaliser. They're on this run of draws. They'll happily take a draw now from this match. Forward it goes from Ampadu, but he's overhit that by a distance way beyond Mecha. And Donnarumma will just pick the ball up as Mecha arrives on the scene. And we are now in the 5th minute of added time. Donnarumma launches it away over the halfway line. Strout heads it back across the centre circle. Calvert-Lewin challenges for it. Calvert-Lewin again with a header forward. But then Rodri hooks it away, only to Ampadu again. The Leeds United captain returning it back to Biol, who had that chance for Leeds, but they've been few and far between in the second half. But they are finishing the match strongly, Leeds United. Stroud to Goodmanson. Goodmanson on the left wing. Pep Guardiola watching from well out of his technical area. Goodmanson again. He's challenged by Savinho. No free kick given. And Manchester City will take the ball downfield. It's not a gung-ho counter-attack, not by any means. And actually, in the end, Stack was able to slide in ahead of Savinho and return it to goalkeeper Darlow. Well, I think this is it. This is the last chance for Leeds.
It's got to go long. It's got to go long. It's got to go direct. Get the central defenders forward. This really is the last knock-ins of this now.
Yes, it is. Crucial for Manchester City in the title race. 1-0 lead away from home at Elland Road. Trying to hang on to what they've got. Stack, middle of the Manchester City half. The question is whether they're going to find a final chance. curled into the area, headed across goal, but Donnarumma is able to quite happily allow that to bounce. He tried to head it across Mecha. It's all he could do probably from the position that he was in, and it just bounced back to the Manchester City goalkeeper.
It was a decent ball into the box to Mecha. He couldn't really get any pace onto the ball because it was a slow delivery into the box. Tried to head it down to Calvert-Lewin, bounced in between Donnarumma and Ake, harmlessly for the goalkeeper.
10 seconds to go of the 6 minutes. It had to go long to Calvert-Lewin, who tried to flick it on, but he flicked it to Ait Nouri, and I think this will be it. It's whacked away downfield. Cheers from the Manchester City fans. It's out of play. It's a throw-in that's been given. There will be one more chance. Throw-in to Leeds on the halfway line. We're now well beyond the 6 minutes, and there it is. There is the final whistle. Pep Guardiola was berating Oliver Langford, the fourth official, and saying, why didn't the final whistle go? And he's still doing it. Daniel Farke comes across, gives Guardiola a quick shake of the hand, and Pep Guardiola, he has friends, family, I guess, in the crowd here, and he's turning, blowing kisses to them, waving to them. What a hard-fought win that was, but what an important one as well for Manchester City. No Erling Haaland, they've won it 1-0, Paul Robinson.
There's no pictures on the league table come the end of the season, and that certainly wasn't a performance that Pep Guardiola will be looking at tactically and thinking Manchester City came here and they dominated. That was a true professional performance, job done. Sorry, John.
I was just going to say, another embrace between Pep Guardiola and Daniel Farke near the centre circle. That's a really warm embrace, isn't it, between the two of them?
Well, I think Pep's probably more relieved. I think the way that they approached the game today, they controlled certain parts of it, but Leeds always had that threat without really creating too many chances in the final third. Donnarumma in the second half wasn't as troubled as Leeds fans would have liked him to have been. First half, Leeds played really well on the front foot, but actually Manchester City have come here. They've walked away with a 1-0 result, and the result is all important for them, not the performance. It's all about the result for them today.
Yeah, and a really fine goal, a really well-worked goal, real quality that led to the Semenyo goal just before half-time.
It was difficult for Manchester City at times. You know, Leeds made it difficult for them, but the quality that they had was in the wide areas, the intricacy of their passing when they got down the width of the 18-yard box. Leeds defend well with that back five, and they defend narrowly, and when the traffic's all in the middle, they cope with it quite easily. Manchester City were at the best when they worked it wide, they flashed the balls across the box, and that's where the goal came from. Great ball in from Ait Nouri, Semenyo with a simple finish, and that was a touch of class. That little bit of play that they put together, it showed why they are where they are.
So there we are, handshakes all round, down on the pitch. The Manchester City players going to the officials on the halfway line. Leeds losing for the first time since their defeat here against Arsenal at the end of last month, and for Manchester City again, they're close to within 2 points of Arsenal with their 6th win in a row in all competitions, 4 in a row in the Premier League. Paul Robinson, thank you very much for your company here at Elland Road this afternoon. 6:06 on the way, so 08085 909 693 to join Aaron Paul and Chris Sutton. You can text 85058. Tomorrow in Sunday Breakfast on 5 Live with Jeanette Quatchy and Stefan Powell, they'll have all the news and be reviewing and previewing all of the top sport. Colin Murray will be on at 10 o'clock in the morning. James Toseland among his guests ahead of the new MotoGP season. And then 4 Premier League commentaries on 5 Live or Sports Extra, and Rangers Celtic, 5 Live, the place to hear for that from 12 o'clock after Steve Crossman gets 5 Live Sport underway at 11:45 in the morning. But the Manchester City players going to their supporters, fists clenched and raised by Rodri. A good night for them. It finished Leeds 0, Manchester City 1. You will hear Pep Guardiola and Daniel Farke during the course of 6:06, which is coming next with Aaron Paul and Chris Sutton after the 5 Live news.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Hello, with the latest, I'm Nick Qureshi. Iran has retaliated with missile strikes targeting Israel and US military bases across the Middle East after Iranian cities were struck in a wave of bombardments this morning. Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu launched what they called major combat operations aimed at eliminating threats from the Iranian regime. Iran's foreign minister has called the strikes illegal and unprovoked. State media in Tehran claims dozens of people were killed when a missile hit a primary school. That can't be verified. Speaking at Downing Street, Sir Keir Starmer said Iran could stop the fighting now by giving up its weapons programmes and stopping what he called the appalling repression of its own people. The Prime Minister has confirmed Britain has stepped up military efforts in the region to protect national interests there. And the UN Secretary-General has warned the escalation risks undermining worldwide peace and security. An emergency meeting of the Security Council will take place tonight. Elsewhere, Cabinet Office Minister Josh Simons has resigned. It's over allegations a think tank he once ran paid for a probe into journalists. The Labour MP has been cleared of breaking the ministerial code.
New teams. New rules. A new era. Formula One returns.
The engines are revving. People are getting excited.
Hear every race live on BBC Sounds.
It's all ice to the lights and foot to the floor.
On 5 Live Sport.
Are you ready to have your say? In the UK's biggest football debate, your teams, your views. Get ready. This is 606 with Aaron Paul and Chris Sutton on 5 Live.
It is time for your 606, the nation's #1 football phone-in. Chris Sutton is here and we'll be taking your calls until 8:30 tonight. There were goals flying in all over the shop today, but the game of the day was at Turf Moor.
Fleming! From 3-0 down to 3-3. And it comes to Damsgaard! A devastating blow for Burnley. Oh, it ricochets for Ashley Barnes! Well, they're checking and checking and checking again. More VAR agony for Burnley. They thought they got at least a point.
Chris, what an afternoon of Premier League football. Heartbreak for the Clarets, though, losing 4-3 in the end, but Burnley coming from 3-0 down. And it shows that they're playing for Scott Parker. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Aaron. Yeah, absolutely. Scott Parker on 606 in the last few weeks has come in for a lot of criticism from Burnley fans, but you're absolutely right. The players are still playing for Scott Parker. I think Burnley are going to go down, but Burnley fans, do you want Scott Parker in charge to try and bring you up? And I've got to say, Brentford, I mean, there's a possibility, Brentford fans, you could finish in the top 4.
Burnley and Brentford fans, your manager signed a new contract this week. Give us a call if you're on your way back from the game. 08085 909 693. For Manchester City, the evening was all about cutting down Leeds.
Nouri's ball across, Semenyo in the middle, slides it in. Super from City, and Semenyo is there to score his 6th goal already for Manchester City, and to make it Leeds United 0, Manchester City 1.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Call free 08085 909 693. Text 85058. Text will be charged at your standard message rates. Visit bbc.co.uk/5live terms for our terms of use and privacy notice.
So, Manchester City are now 2 points behind Arsenal again. Do you think Pep's side look in the mood to push the Gunners all the way to the end of the season, Chris?
Yeah, I think they do. A huge win at Ellen Road. No Haaland, no problem. Did a bit of an Arsenal, didn't they? Saw it through though, but that is a big 3 points. Can Manchester City win the title, Manchester City fans?
Manchester City fans, Leeds United fans milling away from Elland Road tonight. 08085 909 693. Give us a call. Chris, who else do you want to hear from?
Want to hear from Newcastle fans. Strange team this season. You lost to Everton today. Been really good in the Cups, but why is your league form so inconsistent this season? Won once in the last 7 matches in the Premier League. West Ham were hit for 5 at Anfield. Nuno Espirito Santo really upbeat in his interview for 5 Live, but why was he upbeat? They got absolutely hammered, didn't they? And Liverpool fans, you're now 3 points off 3rd place in the Premier League. Do you still want Arne Slot out? And in Scotland, Aaron, Hearts beating Aberdeen, 7 points clear at the top. Celtic Rangers tomorrow, but also Motherwell. I mean, Is it possible this season Hearts could finish top and Motherwell second? Let's hear from fans north of the border. And Norwich City, Aaron, you love your EFL. Norwich City safe. What a job Philip Clement has done. Could he be manager of the season?
Don't know about that, but he's done an excellent job indeed. Who are the other EFL fans you want to hear from? Big day across the Football League, wasn't it?
Yeah, oh, it absolutely was. So, I mean, who else do we want to hear from, Aaron? That's your sort of speciality, EFL? Come on,
Coventry fans, of course, flying high at the top end of the Championship. Jack Rodoni, Rudy Rodoni, what a boy. 94th minute winner in front of a record crowd at the CBS, and Frank Lampard's side absolutely marching to the title. But it's that sinking feeling for Leicester and West Brom fans. Leicester beaten at home by your Norwich City, Chris, and Oxford picking up a big 3 points just to fire up the relegation survival scrap down the bottom once again. They're now 2 points off Leicester and 3 off of West Bromwich Albion. So it certainly is going to be very, very interesting. Whoever your team, we are here until 8:30 tonight. The number to call, 08085 909 693. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Aaron.
You well?
What a day. Yeah. Good. Really enjoyed this afternoon listening to 5 Live, and some big results. Sort of in every league, really. North of the border, Liverpool, big win for them.
Mega.
West Ham, Burnley. There are so many stories which have emerged.
I'll tell you what, I forgot to mention erroneously Millwall at the top in my sort of headlines. Big win for Alex Neil's side, who are now a point off of Middlesbrough. So Millwall in third, Middlesbrough in second. But Alice is a Millwall fan and said, listening in right now, up the Lions, Mill, M-I-I-I-I-I-I.
Do you think they're going to sneak?
They've got the quality.
Automatic?
Undoubtedly got the quality. The owner, James Berylson, and this is a conversation for another show, has done such a job. He's transformed that football club. His dad put the foundation in. James has gone in and taken it to the next level. Him, Steve Gallen, got himself a manager who knows how to get promoted. It's a good time to be a Millwall fan. What about a Burnley fan? Kieran, good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
Yeah, I'm well, thanks. Talk to me. How do you feel about the game today? Blood pressure all over the shop.
Well, my blood pressure's bad enough as it is. But perfectly honest with you, gentlemen, I've supported Burnley for many. I won't tell you what the first, or I'll tell you, I went to Turf Moor for the first time in life in 1966, and we beat Sheffield United, I think 4-0. I've been a Burnley fan all my life. I've seen us almost go into the non-league in 1987. The first year they had automatic relegation from Football League into the conference. We beat Orient 2-1. You might remember that day. Brian Butler, we were the live commentary match on Radio 5 Live, or Radio 2 as it was then. So yes, today was yet another typical emotional roller coaster for a Burnley fan. I thought we were dead and buried at 3:25, and Martin Keown I was going to ring in this evening had we got the point and say, could I have a word with Martin Keown? And then we pulled it back and deservedly we should have got a draw today. Defensively this season, as opposed to last year, it's the other way. We can be very suspect of set pieces. But I was on before, the privilege of being asked on the show before, when I rang in, should I say. When I was at Turf Moor just before Christmas at home to Fulham, we lost 3-2. When we went forward, I just thought, wow, we look really dangerous and good when we go forward. And I've said with friends of mine, sometimes Scott Parker used to remind me of a sort of North East Lancashire answer to Gareth Southgate. You just felt like saying, you just let the handbrake off, Scott. And I think today we show that when we do that, we're as good as any team in the Premier League against a very, very good Brentford side.
Not as good as any team in the Premier League. Come on.
Well, I know you're a Blackburn man, Chris, and the idea of Burnley being in any way good is an anathema to you.
No, I'm not saying that, but not as good as any team in the Premier League. I mean, you know, Burnley...
No, you just let me finish if you wouldn't mind.
Okay.
What I was saying there was, you know, when we go forward, we can be, you know, we're competitive. There's no doubt about that. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, Chris. I'm not saying for one moment we're in the same league as someone like Manchester City, Liverpool, these teams. That, you know, I take that point. But what I'm trying to say is, when we go forward, we look very dangerous. We turned the game on its head at Crystal Palace when we went forward. Last week, yes, we were under the cosh, but then when it went down to 10 men, we took the game to Chelsea and got a deserved point. And I thought today we were going to come away with a deserved point again. So when we attack and play with purpose, we can compete. you know, and I think that's the important point. The point you also asked, Chris, just for you doing the intro after the game, about, you know, is Scott Parker the man to bring us back up? I think he is. And I think, you know, we're competitive.
Do the bulk of Burnley fans think that, though? Because he has taken a fair bit of flack this season, and I think some of it. I mean, you know Burnley far better than me. But on the face of it, it seems quite harsh because you were promoted, and Leeds and Sunderland, you know, that hasn't helped, I suppose, as a Burnley fan, seeing them really competing. But you have been, you've sort of been in games, haven't you?
Well, Chris, I totally agree. I think we've been much more competitive, paradoxically, this season than we were under Vincent Kompany 2 years ago. And I think, you know, paradoxically, though, defensively this season, we have looked suspect. Today, the first goal, nobody picked up the man coming in, you know. And the defensive solidity that was there last season isn't there. But then again, you've stepped up from the Championship to the Premier League. But I do feel that, you know, Scott Parker, with the right resources, he can bring us back up again. We're going down, I mean, let's be honest about it. But, I mean, what I'm very heartened as a Burnley fan to see is that we're doing it with a bit of fight. Yes, gentlemen, I was surrounded by supporters at Turf Moor when I was down there for the game against Fulham. And a lot of people were saying, yeah, here we go, Scott has to go. And I don't believe in knee-jerk reactions. And at the risk of Chris accusing me again of comparing us with like, I'm not comparing this to Arsenal, Chris. But if you think about it, gentlemen, 3 years ago, lots of fans were calling for Arteta to go. And look, you know, and now look where he's brought them, you know. And the other thing is, sorry,
I was going to say, I mean, it's a great call, Kieran, but we've got to move on. Really good speaking to you this Saturday night. Have a good one. Good to speak to you, Kieran. That's Kieran, the Burnley fan. Burnley fans, do you agree with Kieran there? Is Scott Parker the man to bring you back up into the Premier League? That's when/if you get relegated. Anyway, 0885 909 69.
Can I just quickly say, Robbie Savage loves football again because his team won today. They're on a bit of a bad run. Pressure on, wasn't it? But now, so they won at Lowly Gateshead, so big win for
I'm here for it. Up the Forest Green. Go on. 0885 909 693. Whoever you support, get in touch with us this evening. Maybe you're a Manchester City fan or a Leeds fan heading out of Ellen Road tonight. Maybe you're stuck in one of the car parks around it and you've watched that game. Give us a call and let us know your thoughts on your side's performance. Let's talk to Oliver, a Brentford fan. You were at the game, Oliver. Mate, wow. What a bit of entertainment.
Yeah, I think the first half, we absolutely all over them. We deserved to be 3-0 up, if not more, in that first half. But as soon as we scored that own goal, as COYI, I think, back in the side today, scored the own goal, the game completely flipped. And it went to half-time. We went in at half-time thinking we're all over them. Came back out, completely different game, I think. As soon as they scored after 5 minutes, it's always more as if, when are they going to score again, not if. And I think in the end, we were lucky to get 3 points, I think.
I mean, you must be absolutely delighted that you got there in the end, because whatever you say, comfortable 3-0 up gets to 3-3. Were Burnley hard done by with that goal chalked off? Ashley Barnes handball. What did you get a view of that, Oliver?
From the away end, we're so far away to the actual goal itself. There's no replays or anything in the stadium. No idea whether it's handball or not, but the rule is if it hits his hand and he scores, it's not a goal. So,
and what about Keith Andrews, new contract? Who saw this coming at the start of the season?
No one, I think, apart from the people in charge of the club. I don't think anyone would have picked Keith Andrews as the man. But look what he's doing. Can anyone argue with what he's doing? Not at all. He's got us in the best position we've ever been in the Premier League. So why not reward him with a new contract?
Is that a little bit early, though? I mean, it's sort of only just started. Have Brentford gone early with that contract, or?
I don't think not at all, because before this season, most people were saying we're going to go down. We're going to come bottom, 19th, whatever. We're currently fighting for Europe in the best league in the world. So he's got us there, and no one's even thinking about us going down now. So why not reward him for the hard work that he's done and got us where we are?
Are you going to make Europe this season?
There's still quite a way to go.
Oliver, good speaking to you this evening. 08085 909 693 is our number to dial. Just looking at some of the other. Oh, Oliver, is Oliver still there? Oliver's gone.
He's gone.
Oliver's gone. Keith Andrews signed that new deal to what, 2032? Absolutely mega, Chris.
No, it is, and I get why why in some ways he signed a new deal, but that's a lengthy one, especially in this day and age. I mean, he has done a fabulous job. Possibility Brentford could get in a Champions League spot, which is absolutely ridiculous, really, when you think, a lot of people, because of the job Thomas Frank did, and then thinking, well, is this a downgrade? Well, looks like an upgrade, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Thomas Frank must be watching on and thinking, what could have been? Liverpool fans, you watch your side put 5 past West Ham this afternoon. We'd love to hear from you this evening on 606. Let's talk to another Burnley fan. Freddie is with us on 606 tonight. Did you go to the game, Freddie?
Yeah, I did. I've actually travelled up from the south coast this morning just to be robbed by VAR twice, so.
So go on, talk us through. One was an offside, right? So, that must have been sort of factual.
I've seen the picture online. He's been played off by his arm, which doesn't give any advantage because he can't score with his arm, can he?
But if he's offside, isn't he? So that. But what about the second one?
What advantage does his arm give, though?
But if the law's the law, the law is the law, isn't it?
But is that the law, though? Because if that was Erling Haaland, would they mark the line there? Because I don't think they would.
What? So you're saying because it's Burnley, VAR have given that decision because it's Burnley, and it would have been different had it been Manchester City and Erling Haaland.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. Yeah.
But that's, with the greatest respect, Freddie, that's absolute nonsense.
Is it though? Because I have a feeling no one likes us in the Premier League. I think the last few seasons have shown that when we've come back up, that we've had a lot of decisions against us.
I don't know who's on VAR today, but I can't imagine them going into their little office, taking their packed lunches in and saying, let's have it in for Burnley today. We don't like Burnley.
Having their lunch.
Cheese and pickled sandwiches.
You never know.
Come on, and what about the second one? Because Mark Chapman earlier on 5 Live said apparent handball. He wasn't quite sure. Now that one, I'm looking forward to matches of the day.
Hold up, Chris. We've got to go to another Chris. It's Chris Sykes, who's in the tunnel at Ellen Road with the Manchester City boss, Pep Guardiola.
Pep, you've got the victory today.
Yeah, right.
What's the feeling? Is it a feeling of relief more than anything? What's the feeling after that? What are your emotions?
Really good. It's very good. We need to play in this type of game. A lot of control. We concede few, and a team like here create. Look, they draw in the Stamford Bridge. They do it against Aston Villa. It's a really, really tough team. Really, really. First 10-15 minutes we suffer, but after we take the ball with 1,000 million passes that we are being creative for that, still sometimes it work, pass the ball, without intention to attack, to be honest. But the last 50-20 minutes first half, and a little bit the second, we have more intention to do it. We create not more chances, but clear ones. One from Nico. They didn't create except the last 15 minutes. They put Luke in the Mecha and Calvert and Lucas Ball, but we defend really well.
Yeah, you talked about that because you really had to sort of withstand a lot of pressure in that opening 15-20 minutes or so, didn't you?
Last 15?
The first 15, so.
Yeah. But I saw the games here. Few of them, the first minutes always like that. So the first 15-20 minutes, Leeds is unbelievable. And we talk about that to suffer, and yeah, we did it.
And obviously today you had to do it without Erling Haaland as well. What's the latest with him?
Have a problem 2 days ago, and I think it's not a big issue, but he didn't feel comfortable today, and we play again without him.
Will he be okay for Nottingham Forest?
I don't know yet, sorry. Next press conference maybe I have more info.
Pep, thank you very much.
Pep Guardiola with Chris Sykes live
talks more when he wins, doesn't he?
Yeah, sing when you're winning. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, do you think the interviewers, do you think when they want Manchester City to win, so then Pep doesn't give them a yes or no?
Is Freddie the Burnley fan still with us? Freddie there?
Yeah, we're still here.
Conspiracy Freddie? Come on.
Come on, carry on, Fred.
Well, I'm with my mate Jude as well, and we both don't think the second one's a penalty either. Not a penalty, handball,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Why? Tell us why.
To be honest, I thought it was quite ridiculous, to be honest. It clearly hits his hip. You know, we've watched it back a few times now, and
his arm's in a natural position as well. It's down by his side, and his arm's behind him as well.
So do you think that the VAR officials ganged up on you with that one as well and had it in for Burnley, Jude?
To be honest,
like Freddie?
I felt like they were trying to find any decision to disallow the goal.
It took a long time to come up with that decision as well, to say it was very fine margins.
But why would Jude? Why would VAR officials have it in for Burnley? Why wouldn't they?
No one likes us, Chris. That's what it is.
Yeah, no one likes us.
I feel like that as well.
Do you care?
We don't care because we're super Burnley.
so come on then. I mean, you're going down. Where are you on Scott Parker? Because we've had a lot of negativity.
We're not down yet. You never know.
Yeah, we're not down yet.
If we get 8 points, I think if we've got Super Michael Jackson in there, then I think he knows exactly what we need.
Come on,
go on, finish it. No. Go on, boys. You know you want to.
Well, if we've got Kyle Walker at the back and Edwards in attack, I think Burnley stay in the Premier League.
Oh, I love it. That's a good one. That's very good, boys. See, I spotted that coming up. Well done. I love that. Lads, good time to end it there. Freddie and your pal, have a good night. Have a good Saturday night, whatever.
He was a bit obscure, wasn't he, Jude?
Hey, Jude.
Good.
Sorry, that's really poor from me. This is 6:06 on 5 Live. Great to have your company this evening. We're asking for championship calls. The race to survive at the foot. Of course, Sheffield Wednesday down. We know that. But the race to survive is tight.
Norwich City aren't in that race.
They're not anymore, Chris. Well, yeah, they're not. Anyway, Oxford United winning today. They've got 32 points. They're second from bottom, 2 points above them. Leicester City beaten by your very own Norwich. West Bromwich Albion just above the dotted line on 35 from 21. Blackburn Rovers still very much in it. Michael O'Neill's hit the buffers, hasn't he? Beat him.
Part-time Michael O'Neill.
Part-time Michael. Let's talk, though, to a West Bromwich Albion fan. 08085 909 693. Manny, I mean, can you describe what is going on at your football club right now?
Quite hard to describe, to be honest with you. The club's in a mess. It's been a constant decline for a number of years now, and it's got to the point where, to be honest, I didn't even think it was even possible we'd ever get to the point where we'd be a club that would be fighting for survival to not be relegated into League One.
I mean, who does this? Sorry, Chris. I was going to say, who does this? Like, you know, who does the blame lie at? Is it Shilan Patel? Is it, you know, are we still going back to Guaoshan Lai, who owned the club? And I mean, I think it's 2 years now since Shilan Patel bought the Albion. Is it the former sort of president? Is it Andrew Nestor? Who's to blame?
Well, he did inherit a really, really messy situation, to be fair. And financially behind the scenes, from what I'm hearing, is he's done a good job in handling that, but it's just people he's putting in the footballing positions that are making seemingly awful decisions. Well, the evidence shows that. Both managers have been poor. The recruitment has been really poor. We've been having to sell our best players, obviously, to sort out the financial side, but then the players we're bringing in just aren't to the quality either. So everything together just led us to where we're now going.
So the situation is you're managerless now. I mean, who did the West Brom fans want in to try and keep you up? And I mean, it's very difficult because running out of games, obvious thing to say, but that's not an easy job, is it, to come and keep West Brom up?
No, but these players, they've only been managed by managers who have limited experience. We've never actually seen them as a group be managed by someone with some championship experience. So maybe if we just get someone in, I don't know who that might be, kind of left it late. Rowett's already been taken, could have been an option.
Rowett got beat today.
But I think Leicester have just got enough players that with some sort of decent management, he'll pull them through. And we might have that, we've just not seen it
I don't think we've got it, to be fair, but we've not seen it together with an experienced manager.
I mean, look, you're above Leicester City just in the table. It's a point. I'd be more worried about getting sucked in by Oxford.
Yeah, they're now in the race. We've allowed them to be back in the race by losing today. So we're a team that should be beating someone like Oxford. So this is a really poor performance. Only got a goal because of the massive deflection, or wicked deflection.
Does James Morrison take you to the end of the season?
I think he might. I'm not sure the club has the money to bring in another manager. So I think unfortunately it might be just him. Don't know if they can bring in somebody else. I'd like for them to just offer someone a bonus, bring in someone with experience, say, if you keep us up, take the money, we'll
Big Sam.
with someone, we'll take it from there. Yeah, if he wants to. Hopefully he might. Be better than probably most options on the cards at the moment.
And here's one for you, Manny. If you do go down, I mean, do you think it would be a struggle to get back up? Do you think you'll get lost in League One?
That's what I'm fearful of. I was already fearful of us being a team that was lost in the Championship, not ever looking to be promoted back to the Premier League in my lifetime, but I'm now fearing that we could be one of those teams that doesn't make it out of the Championship for a long while.
Manny, get down the Sportsman. You deserve a mixed grill after watching that rubbish. 08085 909 693.
Down the where?
Down the Sportsman, West Brook 10. Punjabi mixed grill. It's a thing of beauty, Chris. It really. I'll take you for one day. 08085 909 693. Albion fans, what kind of a mess are you in? Leicester City fans, talk to us about the protests outside the King Power today after that defeat to Newcastle. Got another unhappy football fan on next. It's a Newcastle fan. Adam, good evening.
Hello, lads. You alright?
Mate, I'm well. Talk to me.
I'm absolutely furious. I've just come in from the match. That was an absolute disgrace. I want Eddie out, or somebody that is. Why are we leaking goals? We're bleeding goals. Like, left, right and centre, we score, we equalise, and then suddenly, bang. That was appalling. That was absolutely appalling.
Did you say you wanted Eddie Howe out?
Yes, definitely out.
Yeah,
out. He's got to go.
Hang on a minute.
He's losing the plot. And also, why
Adam, hold on there. Let that question marinate. We're going to go back to Ellen Road, and we are going to hear from Edmund Reamer, the assistant manager of Leeds United, with Chris Sykes.
Eddie, I mean, you've come away empty-handed from that result. I mean, were you... clearly you'd be disappointed, but did you think you could well have taken something there?
Yeah, 100%. I think I would say, putting such a shift in such a performance, we should have taken something out of it. I think we had more than enough to score a goal. We had our chances. I think we pushed them all the way down. I think they've been on the edge, and fair play to them. Also, like how they defended, how they put a shift as a team in. So you see, it's a world-class team. But I think definitely proud of the boys, the performance today. We would have deserved the point.
I mean, you really gave it a right good go, particularly that first 15-20 minutes or so as well.
Yeah, of course, you want always at Ellen Road, you want to be on the front foot. Everybody knows how spicy it can be here, how difficult it's to play. We want to use our crowd as well, and we want to be, it doesn't matter who we play on the front foot, especially at home, but I think we pushed them, especially in these moments. We had our chances. Sadly, we didn't convert it, and then, yeah, they played it one time really well. Down the side, channel run, good ball, world-class team, world-class goal. And yeah, I think second half again, we gave it everything, pushed them to the end, and sadly couldn't.
Now, the reason we're speaking with you is obviously Daniel was sent off at the end. What was your kind of view? Why did he get sent off?
Yeah, it's I don't know. So football is an emotional game, isn't it? So and I think working with Daniel for a decade now, he had one sent off. I think it was his first sent off was last season, was it? When he was celebrated, that's the first one that he got. I felt that back then it was really harsh, and this time again. So they are time wasting for goal kicks. The referee's talking to them. They're keeping, so even the ball sometimes the goalkeeper too long. I felt like in a sense where you normally get the ball at the corner kick. Get a yellow card for time wasting, and then it's 6 minutes over a few seconds, and he doesn't allow the long ball. So you are frustrated, you are emotional, you want the equalizer, you're pushing, the whole stadium is buzzing. I felt like also you can allow this one delivery. And I think that's the moment you get, like, I think he got on the pitch. I had a brief chat with him and said, for what? But probably it will be like, maybe he felt it was too aggressive how he stepped on the pitch, too emotional. I don't know. So, but harsh decision, because I never experienced that, and he's never actually the guy who's aggressive going on the pitch and doing stuff.
Does sound like there was a lot of frustration then within the dressing or on the Leeds bench about what was going on.
Frustration in terms of,
Well, you just mentioned about sort of some of the decisions from the referee, perhaps some of the time wasting from Manchester City.
No, of course, yeah, every team were going to do it. So they had to sit it out as well. So they've been, I think, if you watch their bench, they've been nervous. They're happy that still was the final whistle. Of course, there was frustration if the opposition team is time wasting, and you are asking the fourth official to add it on. You get the information it's going to be at the end, and you feel like it's not going to be added on at the end, and they blow the whistle. So of course you're frustrated though.
Eddie, thank you very much. That's the Leeds assistant manager, Eddie Reamer, with us.
Chris, thank you very
He's
much.
Edied him off there, hasn't he, Chris Sykes?
He's what, sorry?
He's eddied him off there, straight in with an Eddie. Is that, Manchester City fans, is that how you want to win a Premier League? Time wasting? I mean, really?
08085 909 693. We were talking to Adam, the Newcastle fan. Adam, stick around. We're going to come back to you after the latest news here on 5 Live with Nick Qureshi.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Good evening. In the past hour, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has suggested there is a strong possibility that Iran's supreme leader was killed in an attack which destroyed his compound. It came as the US and Israel bombed large areas of Iran, aiming to topple its government.
We knew that it will come. We didn't know when. Everybody was waiting for this day, and now it has happened.
President Trump says he's eliminating an imminent threat from Iran, the development of nuclear weapons, and he's told the Iranian people to prepare to grab power.
When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations.
His reaction from Lord Ricketts, former UK National Security Advisor.
I think that's pretty irresponsible, frankly, because the Americans aren't in a position to protect Iranian people who respond to that call and go onto the streets. The security authorities, they showed 6 weeks ago, they are tough, there are many of them, they are brutal, and in the end you can't stop them repressing civilian protests by bombardments from the air.
The Iranian Red Crescent says the strikes have killed more than 200 people across 24 provinces. Tehran responded with missile attacks in Israel and across the Middle East, hitting Dubai and the home of the US Fifth Fleet in Bahrain. Ismail Baghi speaks for Tehran's foreign ministry.
This war was not started by Iran, it was imposed on us. The United States is using the territory of the Arab countries of the region to launch an act of aggression against Iran. And this is currently in violation of basic principles of international law.
Well, the UK was not involved in the strikes, but the Prime Minister said this at Downing Street.
Our forces are active and British planes are in the sky today as part of coordinated regional defensive operations.
The UN Security Council will meet in emergency session in the next hour. France among the countries requesting it. Here's President Macron.
The disruption is only just beginning, Stephen, and even when, if they suddenly reopened airspace now, which is unlikely to happen, the disruption would rumble on, I fear, for days, simply because you've got planes, pilots, passengers out of position.
OK, that wasn't President Macron there, but that was Simon Calder talking about disruption to aviation. A number of airlines have, in fact, cancelled journeys to the Middle East. Global transport's impacted too. Iran has warned ships not to cross the Strait of Hormuz. Around a fifth of the world's oil passes through this entrance to the Gulf. One other story to tell you about tonight. Josh Simons has quit as a Cabinet Office Minister despite being cleared of breaking the ministerial code. It's alleged a think tank he previously ran commissioned a report looking into the background of journalists. And let's, for the moment while I've been on air, get more on our top story. A senior unnamed Israeli official has told the Reuters news agency that Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed in those Israeli-US strikes this morning. Iran has yet to comment. Stephen Nolan is back with us here on 5 Live at around 8:30. Latest developments on this story. In the meantime, you can follow events online on the BBC News Live page, listen to the live news audio stream on BBC Sounds, or watch the BBC News channel.
6 Music. Devote your mornings to music. Nick Grimshaw. Let 6 Music deliver us from grey skies with the best sounds in the world. And grace us with some incredible artists. Seema is with us this morning.
It is my favourite record of mine. It's a banger.
As we ascend into the day ahead with music beyond the mainstream. Nick Grimshaw on BBC Radio 6 Music. Just say, play 6 Music. The UK's biggest football debate. This is 606 with Aaron Paul and Chris Sutton on 5 Live.
Yeah, hello and welcome back to 606 here on 5 Live. Chris and I taking your calls until 8:30 tonight, so just half an hour to get your call in to us by dialing 08085 909 693. I'd love to hear from some West Ham United supporters tonight. On your way back from Anfield after having 5 shipped past you, we'll be hearing from a Liverpool fan in the moment. But Hammers fans, after those clean sheets and the good momentum, can you keep it up? Are you hoping to get Spurs?
Can they keep it up?
Yeah, the clean sheets they had.
Had.
All
They
right, fine.
conceded
They
5
had.
goals
They
today.
had.
I mean, can you keep up those clean sheets?
Yeah, can you just keep up the sort of momentum? I mean, don't get me wrong.
Can you
Today's,
keep up the momentum? They had 5 foot past them. No, they can't.
Okay. Are you planning to get your nearest and dearest Tottenham into a relegation scrap fully? 08085 909 693. Now, Chris, if you are a Fighting Talk fan, I know you are, you would have noticed the team weren't in their usual 11 a.m. slot this morning, but you'd be glad to hear that this weekend's show is now available on BBC Sounds as a podcast. So head over and go and grab
It's
that.
made my weekend.
Oh, good to know. Christoph, you've got some messages.
I have. My son and I joked after pre-season versus Sunderland and Berlin respectively, Hearts will win the league. Listen to this, Aaron. Motherwell's second. My son has been believing for his team Hearts for a while. I'm now believing as a Well fan. Undoubtedly memorable, hopefully amazing end to the season. I think it might be another win for Everton away from home. What a save from Jordan Pickford in the dying seconds. Superb stuff. Let's hope we can sort out our home form. Shout out to Deb's Tours on the way back from Newcastle up the Toffees. And here's one. I don't know how I feel about this. At the start of the football journey with my kids, Leicester fans. Been to 4 games so far, 3 losses, 1 draw, 7-1 down on aggregate. First away game at Ipswich next week. They both want to keep going. Shout out to Toby 8 and Orla 6. That's from Ed. Hi Toby, hi Orla. Maybe think about going to Norwich and supporting Norwich City, guys. What about that? Yeah. But let's hear, it's on a serious note, let's hear from Leicester City fans. I mean, bang in trouble.
Oh, use my phrase now, B-I-T.
Yeah, bang in trouble. B-I-T. And you think about their recent history and where they're going.
Yeah, I'm very, very worried. From protests outside the KB today, if you're a Leicester fan and you were involved in this, come on and tell us all about them. 08085 909 693. Let's go back to Adam, the Newcastle fan. Adam, how are you? You want Eddie Howe out?
I want all of them out. What is going on?
Well, when you say all of them, who do you mean all of them? Who?
Well, I've been to the training ground. I go to the match. I've just come back and I'm absolutely fuming because we are bleeding goals. We're equalising in 2 minutes here, 1 minute later.
Right. So you want him out? So you want him out now? You want him out before the Champions League tie against Barcelona?
I won't get him out. I will get him out because of crap.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
well, it's the defence. The defences. I mean, what they made out, they're sticking him in midfield because he's a giant. He's a good passer of the ball sometimes. You've got Gordon. The system is wrong.
The system could be wrong. Good speech there, Adam. Adam, Newcastle United.
I mean, this drives me mad hearing this from Newcastle United fans. Eddie Howe, the job he's done, the mess he took over when he first went in, keeping them up. What's the last 3 Premier League seasons? Is it 4th, 7th, 5th, something like that? Champions League football, Barcelona on the horizon, won you a League Cup semi-final this season. I mean, give the guy a break, for heaven's sake.
Absolutely. 085 909 693 is our number to dial. Now, Liverpool beat West Ham United 5-2 at Anfield. Kev was at the game. You were at the game with your son as well, Kev.
Yeah, that's right. We're both here now. That's right. We're on the way back.
What's your son's name?
Oscar.
Oscar, you good?
Yeah.
Don't sound too.
Well, your team. Well, I mean, you scored 5 today, Oscar.
5 goals, Oscar. I mean, that's your old man's shelled out a bit for them tickets, Oscar. Hot dogs are expensive these days, Oscar, mate.
Yeah.
We got fish and chips today.
Oh. Right. So come on.
Can you hear us? All right.
Yeah.
Go on, Kev.
We can hear you, Kev. So what's your view on the season as a whole for Liverpool? Has it been that underwhelming?
I think you've got to put it in the context of last season as well. And when they started, well, in theory they started well by winning all those games, but they were really getting away with it. So I wasn't surprised when the drop-off happened. At the same time, though, we expected the season of transition last year and never really got it. So on the balance of the last 2 seasons, I don't think there's too much that people can be upset about. I think it's key they get the top 5, though. If they don't get top 5, there'll probably be a change.
And some of the criticism which Arne Slot has got, you're a Liverpool fan, you watch him every week, just from the outside, it seems remarkably harsh. And then you get Liverpool fans saying, well, it wasn't Arne Slot's team which won the title. It was, Jurgen Klopp's team. That's unfair, isn't it? That's disingenuous.
Yeah, I don't buy that because Slot made some key changes. I put in Gravenberch in as the defensive midfielder. He changed the way the team played. So he took what Klopp hadn't won the league with previous season and made it better last season. And yeah, there's been a drop off this year. I think they were quite lucky last year. They didn't get many injuries. That has now changed. They've had a lot of injuries last year. That's kind of evened itself up a bit. But overall, I think if they finish top 5, qualify the Champions League, I think he'll get another season. And
what if you finish 6th? What if you finish 6th?
If they finish 6th, I think they'll let him go, just because of the impact of not having the Champions League finances.
What if you win the Champions League and finish 6th?
I think he'll then stay because they're in the Champions League next year. So I think that's the key point, whether they qualify Champions League next year. It's such a business now, isn't it?
One place. He wins you a league title, and one place you're saying is the difference between Arne Slot keeping his job or losing his job. That's harsh, isn't it?
I'm saying I think that will happen. I'm not saying I think that should happen. I mean, if I had all the answers, maybe I'd be one of them applying to make the decisions, but I'm in no way qualified to make that decision. But I'm saying that's what I think will happen in reality, yeah.
Oscar, get your dad to stop at the chip shop on the way home. Good speech to you, chaps. That's Kevin Oscar on the way back from Anfield after watching a 5-2 win for Liverpool over West Ham United.
It doesn't have to be fish and chips. I mean, that's sort of one of my favourites, fish and chips, but sort of any.
Do you know what? I know we haven't really got time to talk about it. I had a toothache this week, so the first thing that I ate after it was soggy chip shop chips, and it was a game changer.
Just have soup.
No, because it's too hot.
So, we just don't heat it up so much.
It's not gazpacho, yeah. It's not.
You don't have to have boiling soup.
My sister once called it food-flavoured tea. Soup, yeah.
Really?
Let's talk to Tom. He's an Aston Villa fan. Don't you think on? Soup is just food-flavoured tea?
Sorry, I missed that. Hi, Aaron.
Oh,
No,
wow,
you didn't
snooze, you lose. Talk to us, Tom. What's going on with the Villa? I mean, I saw. Do you know what? Just on a side note, I saw the old, the sporting director come out with a sort of like a rallying call to the fans last night on social media.
Did he come out on Twitter? I've actually not heard about that. I've watched the game and I've tuned out. What did he say?
Hold on a minute. You talk to Chris and I'll bring it up so I can get it verbatim.
All right, brilliant, thank you. Funnily enough, I actually don't want to talk about the result from last night. I was actually calling up more of a football-wide thing. I think the FA Cup needs to have Champions League for winning, not the Europa League. I know slightly off topic for this week, but I just look at where it is now. And I know there's a bit of a buzz when teams go through, but I think there is a bit of a blasé attitude when teams get out of it. And the reason that is because the financial rewards from winning the FA Cup is so far away from the financial rewards now from doing well in the Premier League or getting into like the Champions League and stuff and getting and doing well with money and that compared to winning the FA Cup. I think someone season was pretty low in comparison to other things, and I think if you did make that change, you would see managers taking it more seriously than they may do at the moment.
Are they not doing that more so these days? Most
definitely more than before, but there is still very much quite an obvious and clear and expressive thing that managers will say. This is our lowest priority. And I think if you... Okay, maybe the League Cup might be lower, but I think if you change it to say Champions League is what you get for winning it, one, managers will immediately want to take it more seriously because the reward is there. But two, owners would not accept managers taking it anywhere less than fully seriously because of the financial rewards that the owners know that they would get. And I think it would... I agree with you, Chris. I think the FA Cup has changed in its stature recently. I think people appreciate what it brings. But this would really take it to a whole new level where it is taken as seriously, without question, as Premier League matches, which you can't say it's there at the moment. And I think, particularly given that England seems to be now getting 5 Champions League places, that gives even more option to us to move that 5th place to the FA Cup instead.
Do you know what? I think that's a great shout. I don't know what you think, Aaron, but Tom, I think you may be onto something there. We should put that out there. Do you agree with Tom? Other listeners. And what about Villa? We have to talk about Villa. Last night,
I have the statement ready, by the way.
It seemed like a gimme last night against Wolves. By the way, did you see some of the Wolves celebrations? I mean,
did you see Rob Edwards giving it in the dressing room?
Unbelievable. Celebrating relegation, Wolves. Dear me.
Actually, do you know what? I'd love to hear some Wolves fans. What's that Brent-esque when Rob Edwards goes in the dressing room, starts shaking the players and sort of like, trying to celebrate them, tell them to get the tunes up. Was it David Brent-esque? 08085 909 693. What are you... Can I bring you the statement?
Okay.
From the Aston Villa Director of Football Operations, Damien Vidagany, says, dressing room after match was very sad and Unai lifted us. The fans, you have the right to feel whatever, as football belongs to you. As professionals, we know it, we face it and we take our responsibility, but we must always keep balance, look for solutions and run away from extreme emotions and self-destruction. Unai and the boys will make us raise again. And when that happens, we hopefully will celebrate together. We won't remind this night. We win together and we lose together. Keep unity and balance inside on nights like this one is what makes the difference between to be a roller coaster or a strong project. That is what we are. Up the Villa. So a bit of a rallying call.
Tom?
Sorry, am I still on? Sorry, I didn't realise.
I nodded off halfway through that as well.
I'm glad there is a rallying call because it shows us there's still fight within us. And I listened to Rodgers and Emery after the game yesterday as well. To be honest, I think our season changed in early January when we lost Tielemans, Kamara, and John McGinn in quick succession. Our midfield was completely decimated. So I'm glad there is a rallying call, and obviously when Tielemans and McGinn comes back, that will give us a boost as well. But at the moment, I do just think we're a completely different team, and with good reason. We controlled games through our midfield. That was how our whole game was through that midfield. We controlled the game, and our tempo all came from there. When you lose all of them, okay, then how can you play the same way? It hits us. It's not an excuse for doing that badly at Wolves. We should be doing better there. But that is why the turn in form happened at the end of December.
Tom, good to speak to you this evening. Let's go straight to Georgia as a Leicester City fan and a first-time caller. Evening, George. Welcome to 606. The floor is yours.
Hi, both. Are you both okay?
Yeah, very well,
good,
thank you, pal. Talk to us about today and what's gone on at your football club.
Well, I'm really talking about the protest that happened outside the King Power today, and I'm really fully supportive of it because it's addressing the unacceptable slide that's happened over the last few seasons at the club. It's also that you guys know the 10-year anniversary of perhaps the greatest sporting story that'll ever exist, and it's going to end up in League One without a doubt.
This season we know what's gone on in terms of the points deduction. You talk about the protest. Was there a significant number of people at the protest?
Well, I wasn't there. I wasn't able to make it, but I've listened to a podcast of somebody who was there, and they reckon less than 1,000. So whilst there was a decent number, there wasn't a significant number. So I think that the fan base is quite split, I'd say 50-50, as to those who are in support of the protest and those who would rather the club not have a protest at this time.
So, describe in your, in your own sort of way what you think has happened to get Leicester to here. Is it a number of things? Is it one particular thing? You tell us.
I think that we spent perhaps outside of our means after we won the league in chasing European football, and I think my blame is really on the board, and especially the director of football, John Rudkin, who seems to be completely out of his depth for a number of seasons now.
Tell me, are Leicester not still sort of playing the COVID game and saying that, King Power was affected by the fact that, there was no air travel over COVID, and that's how they make their money?
Yeah, I've heard that, and that may be the case. But as a football club, we're grateful for what King Power and the family have done for the club, but it just seems that there's a general apathy regarding Top, and that he's only really seems to be at the games now and trying to take a grip of it now, but it seems to be far too late. And in my opinion, I think that he should look for a buyer for the football club.
Who's going to want to buy the football club in League One?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the feeling? There must be a lot of nervousness now amongst the Leicester fan base. Norwich City, by all accounts, played you off the park today.
Yeah, they did. I thought Norwich were fantastic today, and I think we were just so poor. There's definite quality in the team in Leicester, but the application just doesn't seem to be there. The confidence looks absolutely shot as well. And like you said, I don't think anyone's going to want to buy the football club in League One, and I'm just about old enough to remember when Leicester were flirting and went into administration. I fear that that's going to be the case once again for our football club.
Good to speak to you this evening, George.
It's a great story, Leicester winning the Premier League, wasn't it? It was second best to sort of Blackburn all those years ago.
085 909 693. What about Luton getting into the Premier League?
Well, look where they are now.
Yeah, let's talk to Phil. He's a Luton fan. Phil, you're a first-time caller. You were at the game today. You all travelled all the way to Burslem. Fair play to you. Phil?
Yeah, I'm just calling in to sort of say really about how far we've fallen from where we were. That season in the Premier League was a fairy tale, but since then it's just been a disaster on the pitch. We're just not a very good football team at the moment. It's as simple as that, really.
And so what's happened? Tell us what's happened. I saw there was a bit of aggro, wasn't there, between Jack Wilshere and the Luton fans not so long ago.
Yeah, that was in the home game last week. Just to really quickly go through last season, we just took the Championship for granted. We sort of fell out of the Premier League and didn't really seem to have a plan for last season. And as Aaron especially knows, you can't take the Championship for granted. And I think the way we got relegated on the last day of the season, conceding the 5 goals at West Brom, a lot of support have turned against Bloomfield, but there's a lot of feeling now against the board, and I can see where people are coming from because the recruitment has been bad.
Oh, it's been abysmal, Phil.
Yeah, we just think. You sometimes wonder where they're finding these players, and I'd love to see the players that we haven't signed because they must be absolutely dreadful.
Phil, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on Gary Sweet, and look, I know he wants to deliver a stadium, and look, there is a desire to move to Power Court, and because they believe that for the long term of the football club, it's big. But every single characteristic you had through being managed by Nathan to Rob into the Premier League is gone. That Luton hard work, that spirit, that crafting a squad out of not much money. You had Nick, leading it. It just feels like a different organisation right now.
Yeah, it's gone. I think I do feel sorry for Gary Stewart. I don't think he deserves the criticism that he gets. I mean, the ground is hugely important for us. I mean, luckily enough, I was only born in 1982, but we were looking at moving grounds in the late 1950s. So, I mean, to get the ground delivered is fantastic. But I think we need some way within the club where we have... I think we need to bring some external people in terms of trying to look at how we're running the football side of things, how we're recruiting things. We've signed so many players, yet the squad's really imbalanced. We've got lots of players who offer the same thing, and then we're having to put an attack-minded winger at right back because we don't seem to have another right back on the books. It's a shambles, to be honest with you.
There's nothing like watching Luton Town under Nathan, under Rob, just fight and work hard. I'll tell you what, Phil, great call. If you want something just to bring you sort of right back down to earth, go onto YouTube or wherever you find your documentaries. Go and find Luton Town Trouble at the Top. It's it documents.
A bit sour under Sweet, hasn't it?
Oh, Christopher! It documents their time under John Gurney, and that was is a time that Luton fans will always want to forget because it was a very, very difficult time for their club. Final call this evening on 606 is Chris, a Brentford fan. Evening, Chris.
Good evening, how are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you, pal. Did you go to the game today?
No, I didn't actually. I was at Bromley today, of all places.
Ooh, big win for them.
It was indeed, yeah.
Hang on a minute, Chris. So you're a Brentford fan, you went to Bromley?
I know, I go to a game every week. I see more away games than I miss. I'm going to Bournemouth on Tuesday, but I couldn't get to Burnley today because of some family stuff this morning. So I went to Bromley. I was unavailable to about 12 o'clock.
Nothing wrong with taking
They're going well, Bromley, aren't they? Are they going well?
They are doing very well, yeah. They are doing very well.
Michael Cheek scores again. What a player.
Yeah,
anyway, you want to talk
penalties,
Brentford?
Cheeky.
Yes, just after Keith Andrews signing his new contract, it's a positive move for us, I thought. I was at Nottingham the first game this season. We were 3-0 down at half-time, lost half our best players, and I thought we were favourites for relegation.
Were you Andrews out at that stage? Get him out?
No, not at all. No, not at all. I think we've always promoted from within, and it's served us well over the years, hasn't it?
Yeah, and just the whole job which he's done this season, speaking about it earlier, we had the Brentford fan on earlier, it is absolutely remarkable, really, with the change at the club and the stability which Thomas Frank gave you. And then, I mean, let's hope it lasts. But it does seem like an upgrade, and nobody was saying Keith Andrews would be an upgrade on Thomas Frank, or have I gone early with that?
No, I think you're 100% right. I mean, Thomas did a fantastic job for us, and he seemed to be part of the club. And now Keith seems to be part of the club, to be fair. He was there last season, and he's taken over the reins and done really fantastically well.
Do you always get a little bit worried when managers sign these long-term contracts and, he's done so well to get to this stage? And is there a part of you which thinks, blimey, the wheels might come off now he signed this long-term deal?
Possibly, but I think from his point of view and Brentford's point of view, it ties him down, and if he does leave, he does really well and he leaves, we'll get a big payoff, won't we? So if he does really well and he moves on to a bigger club, we'll get paid off. The same as we've always tied our players down to long contracts, like Thiago, for example.
He's some player, isn't he?
He's a terrific centre-forward. I wasn't convinced about him again at the beginning of the season, but he's not just a goal scorer, he's a really good all-round centre-forward.
I mean, they're flying, aren't they? Champions League next year?
I don't think so. I'm not sure if
Europa?
I'd love to see us in Europe, but I'm not sure if you know, the smaller clubs that get in Europe, it tends to badly affect their league form, doesn't it? I mean, if we got in Europe, the first away game would be an absolute must, wouldn't it?
Well, you'd have to get to that, wouldn't you? Instead of going Bromley on a Tuesday night. Good speaking to you
Bromley may be there soon.
This evening, Chris. Bromley be in League One next year, Chris. Absolutely, man.
Bold prediction.
Yeah, well.
League Two. Wow.
Thank you, Christopher.
Thanks,
thank you
Aaron.
for listening,
Thank
and thank you for your calls this evening. Chris and Robbie back tomorrow with more 606 at 6:30. That's after live commentary of Arsenal against Chelsea here on 5 Live. Next up, though, it is Stephen Nolan keeping you across the developing story in the Middle East. 606 is a Shooting Shark production for BBC Radio 5 Live. Night, Christopher.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Hello, with the 5 Live News at 8:30, I'm Nick Qureshi. The Israeli Prime Minister says there are strong indications that Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei has been killed in an Israeli attack on his compound. There's been no confirmation of his claim from Iran, which came on the day that Israel and the United States launched a wave of bombardments across Iran with the stated aim of regime change. The Iranian Red Crescent says the strikes have killed more than 200 people in 24 provinces. Iran launched drone and missile attacks targeting Israel and American military bases in the Middle East in response. Explosions have been heard in countries including the UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait and Jordan. An emergency meeting of the UN Security Council is due to begin in the next half hour. The UN Secretary-General has condemned the military escalation, warning it has undermined international peace and security. The Iranian authorities are reported to have radioed ships telling them not to use the Strait of Hormuz, the strategic gateway to the Gulf. Airlines serving the Middle East have cancelled or diverted flights as well. BA, Virgin Atlantic and Wizz Air are among carriers to scale back their schedules. More on this with Stephen in just a moment. First, the 5 Live Sport. Here's John Wilkinson.
Thank you, Nick. Good evening. Manchester City have moved back to 2 points off the Premier League leaders Arsenal. They had a 1-0 win over Leeds this evening with Antoine Semenyo scoring his 6th goal since joining City in January. There were also wins for Liverpool, Everton and Brentford, who beat Burnley 4-3, as Bournemouth and Sunderland drew. The Scottish Premiership results included a 1-0 win for Hearts over Aberdeen, and with 9 games to play, they lead the table by 7 points. Barry Hawkins has beaten China's Wu Yize 6-4 to reach the Welsh Open snooker final for the second time in his career. And in cricket, Pakistan have missed the chance to reach the T20 World Cup semi-finals. They beat Sri Lanka but failed to stop them from passing 147 runs in their chase. New Zealand qualify for the last 4 instead. It comes as the ECB says it's in contact with the UK government about the England Lions, who are currently in the United Arab Emirates. They're unable to leave with the UAE's airspace currently closed. England women's trip to Abu Dhabi has also been postponed.
The stories that matter.
We've had a real terms pay cut for the past, over a decade.
The voices that challenge.
Everything was in their favour, nothing was in ours.
It wouldn't be lowering it would be leaving it as it is at the moment. No.
Across the UK.
On 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
There's large communities now that need the support.
When you combine low wages, rising food costs and unaffordable energy bills, the result is hunger, is stress, is structural harm.
This is the voice of the UK.
This is Stephen Nolan.
Good evening. We're on air early tonight because just before 6:30 this morning, we brought you this news.
And some news just in. The State of Israel, we're hearing, has launched a preemptive attack against Iran. The Defence Minister, Israel Katz, has declared a special and permanent state of emergency in all areas of that country. Reuters are reporting that an explosion has been heard in central Tehran with thick smoke.
Long anticipated, but somehow still catching the world by surprise, Israel and the United States launched attacks on what they say are 500 targets across the country. As we're getting used to, Donald Trump's Truth Social platform was where the news was confirmed. In an 8-minute video, the US president spoke directly to the people of Iran.
To the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take.
Government buildings and the residencies of the country's leaders were among 500 targets hit in the first wave of attacks. Jubilation for opposition protesters on the streets of Tehran. As we come on air tonight, the Israeli government says it is increasingly confident it has killed the country's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei. Throughout the day, Iran's military has been hitting back, firing rockets and drones at cities in Israel and US bases in Dubai, Doha, Bahrain and Kuwait. Across the Gulf, tens of thousands of foreigners on holiday or in business have been caught up in the chaos.
Here we go. Right now, right this second.
Because we're in the pub, because we're in the Atlantis, we're out at sea, so they're just shooting them down.
Right this second.
We'll hear from them, from the BBC's correspondents and experts across the Middle East, from people in Tehran, and as always, from you. Here's how to get in touch.
Call Stephen on 08085 909 693. Text 85058. Text will be charged at your standard message rate. Visit bbc.co.uk/5live terms for our terms of use and privacy notice.
This is Stephen Nolan
on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
So, what a day. It's nearly 14 hours now since the news started to break. So let's try to get our heads around what is happening and where we're currently at. Greg Karlstrom is a Middle East reporter for The Economist. He's in Saudi Arabia. Greg, where are we at as we stand at the moment?
Well, there's still a great deal of fog of war. There's a lot we don't know about the extent of the damage in Iran today. There seems to be something of a division of labor between the Americans and the Israelis. The Americans say they have been attacking Iran's nuclear facilities and military sites, and the Israelis have been striking at Iran's missile program and at its political and military leadership. But we don't know, for example, which of the leaders that have been targeted have actually been killed. There are some conflicting reports about the supreme leader, about Ali Shamkhani, who's a security advisor to the supreme leader, the head of the Revolutionary Guard, various other figures. The Israelis claiming a number of these people were killed, but we have no confirmation of that yet from the Iranian side. So it's hard to assess just how much damage this campaign has done so far.
The Iranian government and those at the top of it, are there plenty to fill in behind those if they have been taken out, if they have been assassinated?
I mean, there are contingency plans in place. It's something that the Iranians started doing in the aftermath of the previous war against Israel last summer, when the war began with a similar wave of decapitation strikes against top military figures. So the Iranians have named successors and then successors to the successors for a number of top positions in both the political and military establishments. But if you listen to Donald Trump earlier today, if you listen to what American and Israeli officials have been saying, they're suggesting that this is going to be an expansive campaign against not just current members of the Iranian government, but potential future members, potential replacements as well. So I think the intention here on their part is to sort of work their way through this very long list of targets.
And there are also differing, unconfirmed reports about what may or may not have happened to Khamenei's son. Was he the appointed successor?
He was one candidate. There was no formal appointed successor. Khamenei hadn't officially designated someone as his replacement, but he made a number of moves in recent years, elevating his son Mujtaba to various positions within the Revolutionary Guard, within the government, giving him control of sort of an economic empire that made it very clear that he wanted to see his son as his successor. That wasn't entirely popular within the Iranian regime. There were some people who thought, this was a regime that took power in 1979 after overthrowing a hereditary monarchy. It shouldn't repeat that pattern and have the supreme leader's son be the anointed successor. But that is very much, I think, what Khamenei was trying to arrange before all of this started.
Iran says it has closed the Straits of Hormuz. Now, that is a strategically important area in the world. Tell us why.
It is. This is a narrow passageway that leads from the Persian Gulf into the Sea of Oman and then eventually to the Indian Ocean. And it's the passageway through which about 1/3 of the world's seaborne crude oil travels, oil that is loaded in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia and Iraq. Much of it is shipped on oil tankers through that strait. And so if indeed Iran has closed it, and there are some indications that even if it hasn't militarily done that yet, that some tankers are taking this threat seriously, they're turning around and not crossing through the strait. If that has happened, I think it's likely that when we see oil markets reopen after the weekend, we're going to see a sizable jump in the price of oil.
And was the world that vulnerable to Iran being able to do this on a whim?
It doesn't take much, in a sense, to close it. I mean, when the Iranians say we are closing the strait, you think that what they're doing is imposing a full naval blockade. And that's, easier said than done, particularly when there is a large American military fleet in the neighborhood. But I think for many of the companies, the tankers that ferry oil back and forth from the Gulf to the rest of the world, it comes down to a question of risk, a question of what their insurers are willing to bear. And if the Iranians are making these sorts of threats in the middle of what has become a regional war already, that's going to dissuade many companies just for economic reasons from taking the risk.
If that has happened, I understand what it does to the price of oil. What will it do to Trump's determination to end this as quick as possible?
It's very hard to say. If you look at the statements that Trump has put out today, there was that video message about 12 hours ago where he said the goal was regime change. He urged Iranians to take the streets and take over your government. And then a few hours later, he called the Washington Post and gave them an interview and said his goal was freedom for the Iranian people. Just in the last couple of hours, he did another interview with Axios, an American outlet, where he said this might all be over in 2 or 3 days. He said the war might come to an inconclusive end in the next few days, and then maybe we'll do it again in a few years' time. So is his goal the very maximalist aim of regime change that he set out at the beginning of the day, or is it a more narrow campaign to degrade Iran's military and nuclear capabilities, and he'll end it there? It's really not clear. I think the price of oil, the economic impact, will be one factor, one input into his decision-making, but it's not entirely clear what he's driving at here.
So he said this might be over in the next couple of days. How does that tally with him telling the citizens of Iran to go onto the streets, and this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to topple the regime?
I mean, it doesn't tally at all. And I've heard some people make comparisons to 1991 and the aftermath of the first Gulf War, when the United States and a coalition of other countries drove Iraq out of Kuwait, drove the Iraqi army back into Iraq. And then the Bush administration urged Iraqis to rise up and overthrow Saddam Hussein's government. When that happened, when both Kurds in the north of Iraq and Shia in the south did rise up against the government, the U.S. essentially did nothing. It stood by while Saddam's army massacred large numbers of Iraqis. And so I think there's a valid concern that something similar happens here. Trump is setting this expectation that the U.S. will create conditions in which the Iranians can go out and overthrow the regime. But as we saw 2 months ago during those protests that swept the country, this is a regime that is willing to use tremendous amounts of force to repress its own people, and some of that capability will probably still be intact, whatever it is the U.S. does in the coming days.
How is the likes of China, how is the likes of Russia likely to react to this?
I don't think they're likely to react much. I mean, China will not be happy about anything that drives up prices of oil, particularly in this case, because they have been the main customer for Iranian oil in recent years. It's under American sanctions. Most countries will not touch it, but China has been buying more than 1 million barrels a day of Iranian oil at a deep discount. But if Iran is imposing a blockade on the Strait of Hormuz, obviously that will prevent much of its own oil from getting out and getting to market. So China won't be unhappy. China won't be happy about that. But will they do anything? Will they step in any way? I mean, one thing that we've seen over the past 2.5 years since October 7th, as wars have swept the Middle East, is that China's hard power and its diplomatic power in this region is quite limited. And I think the same goes for Russia. You know, they have aligned themselves quite closely with Iran in recent years. They've relied on Iranian drones in Ukraine. They've forged this military partnership with the regime, but they're hardly in a position to do anything on Iran's behalf, even if they wanted to. Their military is of course quite preoccupied in Ukraine at the moment, and so I don't think they're likely to get involved either.
Greg, thank you for your time tonight. The military action across the Middle East is causing disruption for global transport. Many airlines have suspended their flights. Dubai International Airport, and that is one of the world's busiest travel hubs, has suspended all flights. British Airways, Virgin, Wizz Air are among carriers to scale back their schedules to destinations in the Middle East. The Independent's travel correspondent Simon Calder is with us tonight. Good evening to you, Simon.
Yeah, good evening, Stephen. Exactly as you say, what we've seen today is the extraordinary sight of all three of the big Middle Eastern hubs. That's Dubai International, Doha and Abu Dhabi, all closing because, of course, of the retaliatory strikes by Iran. And we've never seen that. The last thing of this scale that we've seen in the area was the COVID pandemic. But just consider this, over 250,000 passengers were due today to fly to and through Dubai International Airport alone. It is bigger than Heathrow Airport, handles more passengers, and everybody is desperate to get where they need to be. I've been speaking to people who were about to take off. They'd had that boarding complete announcement. They were waiting there, and then suddenly the captain said, sorry, airspace closed, we are staying here. It took them 3 hours to get off the aircraft because they all had to be processed back through immigration, and leaving them in a place where they really didn't want to be. Many of them, of course, had simply just got off a previous flight a few hours earlier and were waiting to continue to their final destination of London Heathrow.
Am I right in saying, Simon, that Dubai Airport's the biggest airport in the world?
In terms of international passengers, yes, it is by a mile. It's Atlanta Airport handles slightly more flights and passengers, but most of those are domestic. But in terms of being a global hub, there is nowhere to match Dubai, and actually Doha Airport getting to be almost as important. And of course, for so many British people travelling from airports all the way from Glasgow and Edinburgh, Newcastle, Manchester, Birmingham, Stansted, Gatwick and Heathrow, through to destinations in India, elsewhere in Asia, Australia, Africa. It's just the natural way to get there, and that's why I'm hearing from a great number of people, many of whom are cheesed off because they had a difficult day. They might have flown from Birmingham or Manchester halfway across Europe and then be told, sorry, we're returning to base. That's what Qatar Airways captains were told. Others in the difficult position of being stranded on the wrong side, as it were, trying to get back to the UK and finding that air passenger rights rules, which are great when you're flying from Europe, don't work the same way when you're flying to Europe on a non-UK or non-EU airline. They can basically just say, well, good luck, we'll try and get you there in a week, or you can take a refund. It's really, really difficult.
And for those people who find themselves stranded in a foreign country, they can't get home but have travel insurance, is travel insurance effective at a time of war?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, this isn't, in a sense, this is a risk to do with the collapse of public transport, because that's effectively what has happened. I cannot see any insurer defending a reasonable claim saying, look, here I am, for instance, I've just heard from somebody in Mumbai, trying to get back. I've got to, first of all, pay for somewhere to stay, and then after a few days, if I'm still here, I've got to find an alternative flight. So I think that would be a reasonable claim. But initially, of course, it would be great if all the airlines were organising that. If they are companies like Emirates, Etihad, Qatar Airways, they are not legally obliged to do so, but hopefully they will simply do the right thing, find hotel accommodation for all these stranded people and get them back as soon as possible. But the other problem for people whose flights have actually been cancelled is that when, and let's hope it's soon, flights resume, they actually go to the back of the queue. It's everybody who's got, things start again on Monday, hopefully, then anybody who's got a flight booked on Monday will travel as normal, and the people who've been cancelled over the weekend, and we're talking getting into hundreds of thousands of people now, they are going to be finding that they are basically at the back of the queue scrabbling for whatever available seats there are.
Simon, stay with me if you can. Stevie is on business in Bahrain. Hello, Stevie.
Hello, Stephen. How are you?
Good. Well, more to the point, how are you?
Yeah, no, fine, to be honest. It's been an interesting day, full of explosions and all sorts going on. But it's all calmed down now. It's all, even though we just recently had a few more sounds and loud bangs, but not sure whether they are explosions or them shooting, bits and pieces out of the sky. So it's being a civilian and not a military person, I can't sort of explain the noises to you that well.
Talk us through then, Stevie, from when you first found out about this morning, what you have experienced.
Yeah, well, the Bahrain, the ministry sent out the warning alert across all the phones, as they do. And then a few minutes later, there was the first actual strike onto the American, the Fifth Fleet, I believe, on their base. So there was a couple of actual strikes close to the hotel where I'm staying, and then could see it out of the window. Then there were some more noises further inland into the more central area of Bahrain. Then it went all quiet again, but the warnings from the ministry were very good, very clear, and you sort of knew something was coming. Then they give you the all clear. And the Bahrain police and the civil defence are doing a brilliant job of keeping everybody clear of the area, really.
And you were just told to lie low, were you?
Pretty much. I mean, they have got some safe areas, but I'm sort of outside of that safe area, so I didn't really need to move. But they were recommending everybody go to a lower floor in a hotel, or if you could get away from the area, get away from the area. So a lot of people left. There was a bit of chaos with the traffic, but there always is in the Middle East, with everybody leaving the area pretty quickly. So it's I am still here in the area, and it's very quiet. A lot of the buildings have all their lights switched off, and it's sort of people are driving round as if they're just going to carry on with their normal daily lives.
I've got to say, you sound calm.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I've got a cup of tea, which is what you really need at this time, I think. But it is, there are, of course, risks involved, but I don't think it's going to be in the area that I'm staying, if that makes sense.
Are you going to try to get home anytime soon?
No, I'm quite happy to stay, to be fair. I think the airport is closed anyway at the moment, so there are no flights in and out. And I believe a lot of the Middle Eastern flights have been cancelled. So I think if you did have to leave, I mean, if you could go across the causeway into Saudi in a car, but that takes a little bit of organising.
Stevie, thank you. John's in Doha tonight. John, you're with your family on holiday.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm with my wife, my sister and her husband.
What have you been seeing, John, from your balcony?
From the balcony, we've just had a recent bout of about 5 or 6 intercepts. You get the loud bang and you can see the white contrails and some flashes of where they've intercepted I'm not sure if it's missiles or drones, but you could see them from the balcony of our hotel room.
And not exactly something you want to be looking at when you're on holiday. What's the atmosphere like around you, John?
Initially, at lunchtime, when we got the first alert, there were a few people panicking. I think when the alerts came through, some of the locals wanted to get home to their families and, get safe. We were in the shopping mall when the first missiles came across and exploded. So we made our way to the metro and